Chapter 1633. Then don't hang up. I'll remind you at any time. Feng Xiaoxiao spoke in a serious manner, concealing her pure desire to listen to gossip. Ningxi thought about it and decided that it wasn't a big deal. She would let them know how difficult it was to deal with this guy. She had tried her best. So she didn't hang up and sat back down. Before I answer you, can you answer a question for me? Why are you staying inside? Ningxi asked. The corners of the man's mouth curled into a sneer. I'll let you see how sanctimonious the gentleman in your heart is. Hearing this, Ningxi frowned. Did he mean that Lu Tingxiao was the one who did it? Let's not talk about who did it. Even if it was Lu Tingxiao's men who did it, you're on opposite sides now. You've been giving Lu Corporation a lot of trouble, haven't you? She said. The man's expression didn't change at all. Instead, he said matter-of-factly, so what? I'm not a good person, but I've never hidden anything from you. What a twisted logic. Sure enough, she couldn't communicate with him at all. Annie's worried face appeared in Ningxi's mind, so she resisted the urge and continued to persuade. We are all very worried about you. If it's because of this reason, it's really unnecessary. Okay, now I know. I know he's a hypocrite. Is that okay? Feng Xiaoxiao was anxious on the other end of the line. Junior sister, you can't do this. Everything he said just now was just an excuse. Only what I said to you is the only correct answer. Not a single word more or less. She was speechless. She couldn't really let her say that, could she? You've used up your chance. With that, the man got up and left. Hey, you. Just as she was about to call out to him, she didn't know if it was because she got up too quickly, but she suddenly blacked out and felt a wave of dizziness. She tried to stabilize her body, but suddenly lost consciousness. Plop! A strange sound came from behind. The man, who was walking halfway, subconsciously turned around and saw the girl behind him fainting on the ground without any warning. Ningxi. The man instantly rushed back. His originally lazy and cold expression turned into panic. Damn it, don't play tricks. The girl lay motionless on the ground, and her face was abnormally pale. Her brows were tightly furrowed, and her breathing was somewhat rapid. What's going on? What's going on? What happened to little junior sister? Feng Xiaoxiao's anxious voice came from the phone beside Ningxi. What's going on? Tang Yi asked. At this moment, the man's expression was extremely ugly. He approached the glass window and roared angrily. Tang Yi, get me out of here. Tang Yi, Feng Xiaoxiao. Tang Yi rushed over with his lawyer. In less than 5 minutes, the man was released, and he was respectfully invited out. Where is he? The man asked with a cold face as soon as he came out. After Ningxi fainted, she was helped out by the staff of the police station. In the car, Tang Yi replied. She's in the car. Don't worry, Annie's here. Feng Xiaoxiao said. A moment ago, the man who looked like he was going to burn through the police station was now walking out of the door at lightning speed. Chapter 1634. In the spacious back seat of the SUV, Annie was taking care of she who was in a coma. Suddenly, the car door was pulled open from the outside, and the man got into the car with a dark expression. He frowned and stared at the girl who was lying on the back of the seat. What happened? Annie glanced at the man carefully, then deliberated over her words before she said, I just checked Brother Shi's pulse. Brother Shi suddenly fainted because he was overwhelmed with emotions and energy. At this time, Tang Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao also came in. Feng Xiaoxiao craned her neck from the front passenger seat and looked horrified. Holy crap! Agitated emotions, exhausted. Boss, what did you do to junior sister just now? It had only been a few minutes, yet he was able to turn his valiant junior sister into such a state. Wasn't he a little too savage? The man stared at the girl's pale face and recalled what had happened in the police station. He pursed his lips and glared at Feng Xiaoxiao. Shut up. Is she that fragile? Feng Xiaoxiao thought for a while and nodded. That's true. If she was really that fragile, she would have been driven mad by you 100 times. What happened then? What caused junior sister's mood to fluctuate so much? The car fell silent for a while, and then Tang Yi said, maybe it's because of the audition this morning. Annie thought for a while and said, "Brother, she told me last night that she was going to attend an audition this morning. Apart from that, she didn't say anything else. After the audition, brother, she came here immediately. So, that was the only possibility. Show me the recording of her audition," Yin Shun said in a deep voice. Feng Xiaoxiao's mouth twitched. "Boss, that's not appropriate." Yin Shun glared at her coldly. "Are you that free? Have you completed the S-level mission?" Feng Xiaoxiao looked as if she had just eaten shit. "Haha, I'm leaving now. I'll go, okay." 3 years ago, her master had given her an S-level mission to assassinate an important person, but that guy was too tricky. She hadn't found a chance to kill him for 3 whole years. 3 whole years. To her, this was simply a humiliation. Damn it, when that guy fell into her hands, she would definitely fuck him first before killing him. Ever since Feng Xiaoxiao was humiliated and fled, Tang Yi had always been obedient to Yunshin's words. In the end, he even managed to get his hands on the recording from a morning. "Tang Yi, I've already sent it to your phone." Yin Shun put on his headphones and clicked on the video. She didn't know what he saw, but his face darkened. Halfway through, he threw his phone aside and stared at the girl lying on the car seat beside him. His slender fingers pinched the girl's delicate jaw. Idiot, seeing that the man's fingers were squeezing harder and harder, and Ning, Xi's chin was pinched red, Annie immediately looked nervous. "Shun, brother Shun, shall I send brother Xi back to rest?" The man looked at her coldly. "Go to my place," Annie said timidly, "but, brother Shun, you're too scary. Brother, she will be scared. She can't take the shock right now. She needs a good rest." The man's face was so scary that Annie's voice became softer and softer. In the end, how could a certain person, who had always acted in an arbitrary manner, listen to anyone's opinion? In the end, he still brought Ning Xi to the haunted house. Chapter 16:35. "I want you to clean up this place in 2 hours." After saying this, the man closed the door of the master bedroom with a bang. Annie looked at the closed door, her face full of worry and self-blame. Brother Xi will be fine, right? After all, she was the one who asked Brother Xi for help. If anything happened to Brother Xi, Tang Yi said, "It's fine. I'll keep an eye on him." Annie felt a little relieved. "I'll get going then. Let me know if there's anything." Brother Shun cared about Brother Xi a lot. He was so nervous when he saw Brother Xi fainting. Although he didn't care about Brother Xi's fear, he still insisted on bringing Brother Xi here. He even asked her to clean up the haunted house. In the master bedroom, the girl was sleeping soundly on the big soft bed. The man stood by the bed and looked at the girl's sleeping face quietly. He seemed to be lost in some distant memory. When he first met her, she was being bullied by a group of scumbags. Those people were notorious local gangsters who loved to play with Chinese girls who had no background and no trouble. Almost all of them had taken human lives and were fearless because of the gangs behind them. If they were targeted by that group of people, even if they didn't die, they would be ruined. After seeing the girl's face clearly, he immediately understood why she was targeted. Although the girl looked down on, she had a beautiful face. Especially her delicate appearance, it made those people even more addicted to her. He wasn't bored enough to care about this kind of thing. He continued to stay on the balcony and looked at the one-sided killing coldly, as if he was looking at an ant. However, he did not expect that the following plot would unexpectedly exceed his expectations. The moment those people approached, the girl pulled out a gun from behind her. Guns were legal in China, so it wasn't surprising that she had a gun. TSK, she was obviously a newbie. It was her first time holding a gun. Her hands were shaking and her eyes were full of fear. It was just a meaningless and ridiculous struggle. He knew these people too well. They were weak and insignificant. Even if they had a butcher's knife in their hands, it would be useless. She didn't dare to shoot. In the end, just as he had expected, it became a one-sided massacre. But it was the girl who killed those scumbags. With a bang, the bullet hit the center of the eyebrow of the gangster who was laughing the most wildly and unscrupulously. It accurately hit the vital point and killed him with one shot. Bang! Another shot was fired, and another gangster fell to the ground, still in the same position. The person he was sure wouldn't dare to shoot actually fired 2 shots in an instant. The girl's body was trembling like a sieve. Her whole body was drenched in sweat, as if she had just been fished out of the water. Her eyes were wide open and filled with fear, but she was terrifyingly calm when she fired the gun. It was obviously her first time firing a gun, but she could actually kill with a single shot. If it was just an ordinary person, even if it was an animal, he might not necessarily dare to shoot, let alone a living person. One interesting child. Unfortunately, the gunshot had attracted the accomplices of that group of people. She would still die tonight. In her sleep, Xianxia had a very, very long dream. She dreamed of everything that happened after she returned to the Ning family. She dreamed of the car accident, dreamed of the child's bruised body, and even dreamed of the time when she almost lost her life in Luoyang City. She dreamed that she killed someone. She dreamed that she was surrounded by a group of vicious people and had nowhere to retreat. A white-haired man descended from the sky and landed in front of her, saying to her, "I saved you. From now on, you are mine." Chapter 1636. She was such a weak person. However, from the moment she fired the gun to the time he brought her back to the organization, she had surprised him time and time again. She was like a weed at the bottom of the hierarchy, but she had the most tenacious vitality. She absorbed everything around her and grew crazily. Perhaps his life was too boring. For many years after that, she had unknowingly become his only source of joy, the only uncertain factor outside of his fate. He didn't know when it started, but when he saw those girls clinging to her and giggling coquettishly, he would feel a sense of viciousness. When he learned that she had the intention to return to the country, he couldn't control his viciousness anymore. He went back on his promise with her and refused to let her go. He even made such a request. Even though he knew he couldn't keep her, he should have gotten used to it. Everything he cared about would eventually be lost. "Brother Yi, I've asked someone to prepare everything." "Brother Shun, isn't he out yet?" Annie stood at the door worriedly. The two had been inside for almost 2 hours. It was very quiet inside, but it did seem to be eerily quiet. Tang Yi frowned, turned around, and knocked on the door gently. There was no response. He knocked again, but there was still no response. Tang Yi's expression changed, and he pushed the door open decisively. Annie followed behind him anxiously. The two pushed the door open with solemn expressions. The next second, they were stunned. Xianxia breathed deeply as she lay on the bed, sleeping soundly. As for Yunshun, he was lying on the edge of the bed, quietly closing his eyes. From the looks of it, he seemed to be asleep. In his sleep, the man's fingers seemed to be unconsciously grabbing a corner of Xianxia's clothes. "Brother Shun," Annie murmured in surprise. Tang Yi looked at the man sleeping quietly and sighed softly. "Let him sleep for a while." Annie fell silent and nodded. Ever since he came back from the Liu family's family meeting, Brother Shun hasn't slept much. Oh my God, my dog eyes. I actually feel that this scene is quite heartwarming and beautiful. Feng Xiaoxiao came back out of nowhere. She rested her head on Annie's shoulder and looked at the scene with an expression as if she had seen a ghost. Don't wake them up." After closing the door, Feng Xiaoxiao stood at the door with a horrified expression. "I thought he would go crazy again after bringing little junior sister back. He might as well go crazy. It's too scary." "Brother Shin isn't that scary," Annie mumbled. Feng Xiaoxiao glanced at Annie and curled her lips. "If it wasn't for his brain, he would have taken care of junior sister long ago, all right? For whole years. How many chances did he have? And it was such a dreamy story of a hero saving a beauty. How old was little junior sister back then? It was the easiest time to be seduced. Such a good deck of cards was beaten by him like this. I'm also drunk. Now, it's too late for regrets." Feng Xiaoxiao continued to complain, but Tang Yi remained silent. He had grown up with that person. That person just didn't know how to express his feelings, nor did he know how to treat someone well. Or perhaps he subconsciously resisted giving too much to someone and never revealed his true self to anyone. Probably because of the great emotional consumption, Xianxia slept soundly. When she woke up, she suddenly saw an enlarged, sleeping face in her daze. She was so scared that she immediately woke up. She subconsciously shrank back, only to find that her sleeve was tightly gripped in that person's palm. Chapter 16:37. Xianxia subconsciously looked at the corner of her clothes that was being grabbed by the man and looked a little confused. The arrogant and lazy disguise on the man's face had disappeared, and his face looked a little childish. She did not know what he was dreaming about, but his brows were tightly furrowed. He looked like he was in great pain, and the knuckles of his fingers that were gripping the corner of her clothes were starting to turn white from the excessive force. His complexion was so unsightly. Could he be sick? Xianxia looked at the thin layer of sweat on his forehead and subconsciously reached out to touch it. However, the man grabbed her hand tightly, like a drowning man grabbing the last piece of driftwood. Xianxia frowned and was about to withdraw her hand when she heard the man murmur in a daze, "Mom." Xianxia was stunned. Mom? Had she heard it wrong? Mom. Xianxia murmured again, this time in a hurry and panic, and his voice was very clear. He was really calling her mom. She was lost in thought. What was Xianxia dreaming about? Why was he in so much pain when he dreamed about his mother? The man was still immersed in the nightmare. He looked more and more miserable, and even his body began to twitch slightly. She quickly reached out to push him. Hey, wake up! Xianxia! With a swish, the man suddenly opened his eyes. The next second, Xia's throat was strangled by a hand, and she couldn't make a sound. Xia's eyes were extremely terrifying at this moment. They were cold and gloomy, and his gaze was enough to suffocate her. 1 second, 2 seconds passed. He finally saw clearly who was looking at him. He finally stopped strangling her, but his face was still very pale. Who allowed you to be here? She wanted to comfort him when she saw that he was having a nightmare, but she was speechless. How would I know? I remember that I fainted at the police station, right? Didn't you bring me here? Don't flatter yourself. The man denied without hesitation. She scratched her head. Was it really not him? Then who brought her here? Could it be Feng Jin again like last time? That shouldn't be the case. Eldest senior brother, third senior sister, and the others were all there. She didn't think too much about it. She mumbled, "You had a nightmare just now. I was kind enough to wake you up, but you almost strangled me to death. What did you see?" The man stared at her, as if he were looking at a peeping Tom. She was speechless under his stare. "What did I see? What's so interesting about your nightmares?" "I just heard you call Mom." The man's expression became even colder, and there was a trace of anger hidden in the depths of his eyes. "Get out." "Me too. Let go of my clothes first." Xianxia's face stiffened. He waved away the cloth in his hand, and his face was full of disgust, as if she had forced her clothes into his hand. She muttered as she left. Tang Yi, Feng Xiaoxiao, and Annie were all at the door. When they saw Shi, they immediately went up to her. "Brother Shi, you're awake. Junior sister, are you all right? Did that guy do anything to you?" She shook her head. "No." Feng Xiaoxiao's face darkened when she heard this. She sighed as if she had expected better from Yichun. "By the way, why am I here and lying on that guy's bed?" She asked in confusion. Feng Xiaoxiao blurted out. "That guy insisted on bringing you back. He even carried you to the bed." Shi. Chapter 16:38. That guy insisted on bringing you back. He even carried you to the bed. Feng Xiaoxiao betrayed her without hesitation. She was speechless. Was that guy schizophrenic? Otherwise, his ability to lie through his teeth and accuse others was too good. Fuck. He chased me away the moment he woke up and even asked why I was here. She couldn't help complaining. Feng Xiaoxiao face-bombed. "Boss, you're going to be single, but junior sister, didn't you attend an audition in the morning? Why did you make yourself faint? Annie said that you were too emotional and that it was caused by overexertion. Even if it's an action scene, there's no need for that, right?" She coughed. "Sometimes this happens when I'm too immersed in my character. It's mainly because I've been too tired recently." Feng Xiaoxiao didn't suspect anything. "Boss even insisted on checking the recording of your audition." Shi's heart skipped a beat. "What did he say?" Feng Xiaoxiao shrugged. "I don't know. I just said that it wasn't good for him to do that, and he beat me out of the car. Ningxi looked at Annie with an inquiring gaze. Annie looked a little troubled, but she couldn't reject Ningxi's question. She said awkwardly, "Boss didn't say anything. He just said 2 words, Ningxi." 2 words? What 2 words? Annie, stupid, idiot, Ningxi. At this moment, Feng Xiaoxiao's phone rang. It was a certain someone. "Send her back." The man's cold voice came from the phone. Feng Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. She was finally enlightened. Just as she was about to kindly matchmake the two of them and tell her junior sister that there were times when this fellow was still normal, an even colder voice came from the other end of the phone. "If you dare to say another word, I'll break your legs." Feng Xiaoxiao. All right. She gave up on treating her boss. In the end, Feng Xiaoxiao didn't say anything. "Junior sister, your car is still parked at the police station. I'll send you back." Ningxi nodded and didn't refuse. It was true that they couldn't take a taxi back to this damn place. Ningxi had just woken up and was still in a daze. However, when she followed Feng Xiaoxiao downstairs and saw the layout of the villa, she was dumbfounded. What the hell? Am I dreaming? Or am I in the wrong place? The originally eerie haunted house had been transformed into a brand new one. The creepy oil paintings on the walls had been replaced with fresh, modern paintings. The dark-colored wooden furniture had all been replaced. Fresh flowers were placed on the table, and the eerie white gauze window had been replaced with dreamy lace. The haunted house suddenly became the princess's castle. What happened during this period of time? Why did this guy's taste suddenly become so heavy? Feng Xiaoxiao looked at her junior sister's oblivious expression, but she couldn't explain that it was all because of her. She was about to suffocate to death. Upstairs, by the window of the master bedroom, the man lit a cigarette and watched the girl leave with a secretive expression. The scene from the audition video that morning appeared in his mind. "Idiot, I hope you won't regret it after knowing the truth." Chapter 1639. As soon as Ningxi got home, she received a call from Lin Jiji. She had signed the contract with the crew. She had finally gotten a role. Xianxia had been too impatient and ignored the crew's warning to not divulge anything related to the audition. As soon as she got the news that she had passed the audition, she had secretly leaked it to the media. Now that she had been replaced, it caused quite a commotion and led the internet water army to spread all kinds of conspiracy theories. Although she had just won the Golden Palm Award for Best Actress, she was still not as experienced and famous as Xianxia, who had been in the entertainment industry for more than 10 years. Now that Xianxia had been chosen, the crew had held a second audition. If Xianxia got the role through the second audition, people could not help but wonder. However, because the director was Jiang Xingzhou, who had a very good character and reputation in the entertainment industry, the majority of the people believed that the crew would vote for the audition. On the contrary, many people were looking forward to the sparks between the famous director, who kept creating miracles, and the young best actress, and what kind of surprise they would bring to the audience. Apart from a small disturbance before the start of filming, the crew kept a low profile throughout the whole process. They were all filmed in a small village, and there were no related reports. In order to achieve better results, the entire crew lived in the village, working, eating, and living with the villagers. Everyone was worried that a delicate girl like she would not be able to handle such a life. But to their surprise, she adapted very well, did all kinds of farm work well, and was even able to help teach the rest of the crew. Jiang Xingzhou would not choose someone randomly. He had studied Ningxi's background in detail and knew that she had lived in the countryside for 18 years. Even though he had always been strict, he was very satisfied with Ningxi's performance. This girl is not bad. She's good material. As long as she doesn't go astray, she may surpass you in the future. Hearing Jiang Xingzhou's high praise, Song Lin did not mind at all. Instead, she looked in Ningxi's direction and said with a smile, "I never doubted that." Just then, Song Lin's phone rang with a ding. Song Lin picked up her phone and glanced at it. The next second, her expression suddenly changed. Following that, Jiang Xingzhou's phone also rang. Jiang Xingzhou picked up his phone and glanced at it. His face revealed the same astonishment as Song Lin's. Following that, his face was instantly filled with rage. Song Lin caught a glimpse of Xianxia's phone screen from the corner of her eye. Seeing that he had seen it too, she hurriedly tried to calm him down. "Director Jiang, before we get to the bottom of things, please calm down." After all, Xianxia had been through a lot, so he forced himself to endure it. "Let's finish filming this scene first. Don't affect her mood." "Thank you, director," Song Lin said gratefully with a hint of worry on her face. At this moment, she still had no idea what was happening in the outside world. During this period of time, in order to focus on filming, she almost didn't pay attention to what was happening in the outside world. It wasn't until the scene was finished in the evening that she relaxed and found that the crew members around her were behaving strangely. They looked at their mobile phones in groups of 3 or 4 and peeked at her, whispering to each other. She frowned and walked toward Xiao Tao. He saw that Xiao Tao was anxiously talking to someone on the phone. "Xiao Tao, brother Shi." Xiao Tao hung up the phone and looked at Shi in panic. "What happened?" Shi looked at Xiao Tao and asked. Chapter 1640. Xiao Tao bit her lip and looked embarrassed. She couldn't speak for a long time. "Give me my phone." Shi reached out her hand. Xiao Tao hesitated for a moment. Thinking that she couldn't hide it, she finally gave Shi's phone to her. As soon as Shi unlocked the phone, she saw the latest entertainment news. The eye-catching headline came in her sight. "Golden Brown movie queen she sleeps with men." Shi frowned slightly. Since her debut, there had been such pure gossip. However, after Lin Jiji sued a magazine to warn others, and Xianxia Entertainment's influence in the entertainment circle was so great that even the unknown and irresponsible small press dared not make such baseless reports. But this time, the news that popped up on her phone turned out to be from a very influential media in the industry. And the unusual reaction of the staff, and even Xiao Tao, she clicked on the page, and her pupils suddenly contracted. As soon as she clicked on it, she saw all kinds of unsightly photos. Even though they were mosaic, she could still see the lewd poses of a man and a woman in the photos. What shocked her was not the photos, but the face of the woman in the photos. It was her. Was it photoshopped? But it didn't look like it. She continued to scroll down and saw another video. The video had been mosaic, but the faces of the man and the woman in the video were very clear. That woman was still her. Obviously, this video completely broke the possibility of photoshopping. The photos were real. According to the description in news, the man in the video was a famous playboy from a rich family in this city. "Brother Shi, stop watching," Xiao Tao said nervously, as if she was afraid that she would be irritated. Shi pinched between her eyebrows and looked helpless. Even Xiao Tao thought that the woman in these photos was her. Not to mention others, this was really tricky. She couldn't help recalling that the fake gun had been replaced with a real one on the set of Agents of the Thunderbolts. Even Lu Tingxiao hadn't found out who did it. And now, this kind of thing happened again. Did the other party want to destroy her because they couldn't kill her? Or this had nothing to do with the last incident, and it was done by someone else. She had really made a lot of enemies recently. "Shi, the director wants you to go there." Shi was lost in thought. At this time, the director's assistant hurried over and looked at Shi ambiguously. "Got it. Thank you." Shi didn't explain to Xiao Tao immediately. She went to the director first. Inside the house, Jiang Xingzhou and Song Lin were both present. The atmosphere was very heavy. "Do you know what happened?" Jiang Xingzhou's expression was solemn, and he went straight to the point. Shi nodded and didn't look guilty at all. She said frankly, "Director Jiang, the woman in the video and photos is not me. I'm very sorry for bringing trouble to the crew. I'll contact my agent to resolve this matter as soon as possible so that it won't affect the filming process." If Shi made such a scandal at this time, according to the contract, her image would be damaged because of personal reasons, and she would have to pay a huge sum of liquidated damages. What was more important was that all the efforts of the crew during this period would be in vain. If they recast her, she would not be able to make it to the film festival. It was even possible that her entire career in the entertainment industry would be ruined because of this incident. Chapter 1641. Song Lin broke the solemn atmosphere. Director Jiang, did you hear that? I told you it couldn't be Xiaoxi. The woman in the video only looks like Xiaoxi. She doesn't have any of Xiaoxi's charm. Her expression is stiff, and her figure is obviously not as good as Xiaoxi's. Xiaoxi's waist, legs, and chest are well proportioned, and her body fat percentage is perfect, not a bit more, not a bit less. She's perfect, but the woman in the video is soft, her legs are too short, and her chest. Ahem, Xianxia coughed. Song Lin chuckled and said innocently, Director Jiang, I'm just stating the facts. Even Ning, she was speechless. It was rare for her to feel embarrassed. Goddess, are you so observant? She didn't expect that the goddess would pay so much attention to her and give her such a high evaluation. Speaking of figure and face, Song Lin was the one with the real charm, and her figure was still perfectly maintained at her age. All right, it's fine as long as it's not you. I hope you can handle this matter well. If it affects the crew in any way, I won't help you, Jiang Xingzhou said with a dark face. Although Jiang Xingzhou's tone sounded very unreasonable, in reality, his attitude had already indicated that he was on her side. After all, he had chosen to believe in her. Yes, I understand. Thank you, Director. Ning, she said gratefully. As soon as she left Director Zhang's office, Ning, she saw Lin Zhizhi waiting outside the door. It seemed that she had come as soon as possible. Sister Zhizhi, why are you here? I was just about to go back. No, I don't want to disturb your filming. Ning, she paused. Did Sister Zhizhi mean, let's go and discuss how to clarify this matter, Lin Zhizhi said. Ning, she swallowed her words and blinked. Sister Zhizhi, how do you know it's not me? Lin Zhizhi said, you don't have bad taste. Ning, she coughed and coughed. She suddenly remembered that she had told Lin Zhizhi arrogantly that the only man she liked in the entire circle was their boss, Lu Tingxiao. She had just blurted it out. She hadn't expected Lin Zhizhi to remember it in the room. Xiao Tao had watched the video hundreds of times, and her eyes were almost popping out. Holy shit, I knew it. Even if my brother she wants to choose a man, he should at least choose someone like second young Master Lu. It turned out that it wasn't brother Shi at all. But this was too similar. He's exactly the same as brother Shi. It was indeed very similar. If it wasn't someone who knew Ning Shi very well, they would definitely think that that person was Ning Shi. After all, even Xiao Tao, who was so familiar with her, didn't recognize her. This was also the trickiest part of the matter. No one would believe her if she said that the person in the video wasn't her without any evidence to prove her innocence. One possibility is that this person was born to look like you, but this possibility is extremely small. Another possibility is that this person deliberately had plastic surgery to look like you. However, the recovery period for plastic surgery is at most a year and a half, or at least 2 to 3 months. Not to mention, to do it to this extent, the time is definitely not short. This means that this person has been planning to scheme against you since a long time ago. Lin Zhizhi analyzed. Xiao Tao was dumbfounded. It took her a long time to recover. This is too scary. Chapter 1642. Lin Zhizhi frowned. Your fans are all defending you now. It's not like before, when a fake photo was enough to ruin a female star. As long as it doesn't involve moral issues like being a third party, it can only be regarded as a malicious exposure of your privacy. It will definitely affect your image, but it won't ruin you. But the problem is that the other party is obviously prepared. It's not as simple as releasing a video. Ning, she twitched the corner of her mouth. It wasn't easy for me to get plastic surgery, and I've waited for so long. How can I be satisfied if I don't do something big? Perhaps this video was just foreplay, the three of them unknowingly discussed until late at night. Sure enough, it came faster than they expected. When it was close to midnight, Xiao Tao, who was constantly refreshing the latest news, suddenly exclaimed, Brother Shi, Sister Zhizhi, there's a new video? Ning Shi and Lin Zhizhi craned their necks to take a look. Sure enough, they saw a new video, and the content of the video was even more shocking. The woman was with 3 men at the same time, and 2 of them were married. Now the only possibility of clearing her name was gone. Lin Ziji's face darkened. Now the only way to prove your innocence is to find that woman as soon as possible. But the other party is prepared. They won't let us find them so easily. If we can't clear up everything in an effective time, once too much time passes, the fake will become the truth. By then, it would be over for them. Even the company's public relations team will find a premeditated person like finding a needle in a haystack. Then, can we ask the head office for help? Xiao Tao asked in a panic. Lin Zhizhi smiled bitterly. Of course not. Lu Enterprises is in a tense situation recently. Even the second young master has been transferred back to the head office. Xianxia Entertainment is just one of the countless branches of Lu Enterprises. It's impossible to alarm the head office because of an artist. She stroked her phone and thought to herself. It was not easy to find that person, but it was not impossible, as long as she used her previous connections. But she didn't want to use them unless it was absolutely necessary. But the current situation didn't allow her to think so much. Big Sister Gigi, don't worry. I made some contacts back in China. They might be able to help. Before she finished her words, at this moment, the door of the cabin was suddenly pushed open from the outside. A slender figure, who was travel-worn but still handsome, appeared at the door. Because the people of this village were simple and honest, there were no locks on the doors. The person who came seemed to have just come down from a formal occasion. He was dressed in a meticulous black suit. His shirt was buttoned to the first button, and his tie was well ironed. His face carried the murderous aura of a superior person. Bo. She was about to call him boss, but she was suddenly pulled by a long arm. She fell into a cold embrace, and then she felt a warm and soft touch on her forehead. She's brain stopped working, and she was dumbfounded. Fuck! What's going on, my dear boss, my dear sweetheart? Big Sister Gigi and Xiao Tao are still here. Chapter 1643. She subconsciously reached out to touch her forehead where he had just kissed her. She stared at her boss, Lin Zhizhi, and her assistant, Xiao Tao. Okay, the 2 of them had already turned into stone statues. Even someone as calm as Lin Zhizhi was completely frozen, not to mention Xiao Tao. Her expression could be compared to the horrified expression in the famous painting, The Scream. She had wanted to put up a last-ditch struggle, but in the end, the great demon king leaned over and kissed the corner of her lips with his warm lips. Sweetheart, there's someone else in this room. Hey, there's someone else? She didn't know if it was an illusion, but she somehow felt that Lu Tingxiao's current state was a bit unusual. What was going on? To prevent the demon king from doing something unpredictable, she hurriedly diverted his attention. Why are you here? Lu Tingxiao said. If I didn't come, would you forget that you have a boyfriend? His tone was so sad. He must have heard what she had just said. She knew he was busy because she didn't want him to be distracted. She subconsciously glanced at Xiao Tao and Lin Zhizhi again. Needless to say, with the devil's boyfriend, these 2 people's worldviews were obviously shattered into powder and then reorganized. Xiao Tao finally couldn't take it anymore and couldn't help but scream. She quickly covered her mouth to avoid alarming others. After all, the soundproofing here wasn't very good. Oh my God, oh my God. What did she see? What did she hear? Was she dreaming? She must be dreaming. She saw Big Boss hugging Big Brother Shi and kissing Big Brother Shi. She even heard the Big Boss say that he was Brother Shi's boyfriend. The Big Boss's girlfriend, who was so mysterious that she was known as the #1 unsolved mystery in the entertainment industry. Their future lady boss had actually been by her side all this time. It was her brother Shi. Poor Xiao Tao was so shocked by this news that she was torn to pieces. Lin Zhizhi took a deep breath and used all the calmness she had since entering the industry to calm down. She looked at the big boss, who was like a god in the middle of the night. Boss Lu, you all right? I can't calm down at all. She looked at Lu Tingxiao and Lin Zhizhi with a headache. Her relationship with Lu Tingxiao had been exposed so suddenly that she didn't know how to explain it to Lin Jiji. It took Ningxi a long while to recover. She braced herself and said, "Sister Jiji, I'm sorry. You told me from the beginning that I couldn't be in a relationship. I broke my promise to you." Lin Jiji didn't know how to reply. The main point now was obviously not the fact that she was dating in private, but the person she was dating was actually, at this moment, Lin Jiji recalled everything that had happened since she took over Ningxi, from Lu Jingli personally inviting her, to Lu Group's top lawyer Chen Jing personally handling the contract dispute between Ningxi and Xinghui, to the dance at the company's anniversary celebration. Now that he thought about it, it wasn't like there were no clues. It was just that this girl was so good at hiding it. If Lu Tingxiao hadn't deliberately exposed himself today, she wouldn't have found out at all. Chapter 1644. Lin Jiji really couldn't blame Ningxi. This girl had even deceived her. She had been dating Lu Tingxiao for at least half a year, but it didn't affect her work at all. She had never even taken advantage of her relationship with Lu Tingxiao. "Miss Lin, thank you for taking care of Cici during this period." Lin Jiji came to herself and hurriedly said, "President Lu, you're welcome. It's my responsibility. As for my relationship with Xiaoxi, I will respect her opinion and will not affect her work. I promised her from the beginning that I would not interfere in any of her work matters." Lu Tingxiao suddenly changed the subject. "But this time it started because of me, so I will deal with it. I hope you can understand." Ningxi looked at Lu Tingxiao in surprise. This time it started because of him? What did he mean? Lin Jiji was also a little suspicious, but she didn't ask much. She breathed a sigh of relief and said, "This time it's really tricky. I'm also worried about it. It would be best if President Lu could solve it." Lin Jiji said, and looked at the two people in front of her. She wanted to say something but stopped on second thought, looking a little worried. Lu Tingxiao seemed to know what she was thinking, so he added, "Ningxi and I are dating on the premise of marriage. In short, as long as she agrees, I can immediately get married with her. You can rest assured, Miss Lin. Cici promised me that when she stands at the top of the entertainment circle, she will agree to marry me, so please take care of her." The implication was that whether he could marry his wife or not depended on them. Lin Jiji, Xiao Tao. These words undoubtedly shocked Lin Jiji and Xiao Tao, who were beside her. "This is too much pressure, boss." Ningxi held her forehead, lowered her voice, and said to Lu Tingxiao, "That's enough. Don't scare my agent and assistant anymore." Seeing that his wife was about to explode, Lu Tingxiao finally stopped. "Okay." Lin Jiji and Xiao Tao were very tactful and didn't stay for long. After exchanging a few pleasantries, they quickly left. Ningxi had a stomach full of questions to ask Lu Tingxiao, so after Lin Jiji and Xiao Tao left, she hurriedly turned to Lu Tingxiao and said, "Well, Lu..." In the end, as soon as she opened her mouth, she was sealed by a scorching kiss. Unlike the forbearance and comforting kiss earlier, at this moment, the man held her waist and held her head with his large palm, ravaging her mouth unscrupulously. Ningxi felt that there was less and less air in her chest. She felt dizzy and her tongue was numb from being sucked, as if her soul was about to be devoured. Suddenly feeling a pain on her lips, Ningxi subconsciously protested. Only then did the man's movements become slightly lighter. But it was only for a moment before he quickly increased his strength uncontrollably. Lu Tingxiao's actions today were indeed a little abnormal. No matter how urgent the situation was, according to his personality, he should have discussed it with her first instead of suddenly exposing it in front of Lin Jiji. Moreover, the moment Lin Jiji and Xiao Tao left, Ningxi could clearly feel Lu Tingxiao's deliberately suppressed gloominess, ruthlessness, and a strong irritation that was similar to the uneasiness that had been caused by Lu Tingxiao suddenly burst out and wreaked havoc in this cramped room. Did something happen? Chapter 1645. Ningxi was thinking dizzily when she was suddenly lifted into the air. The next second, she was carried to the narrow wooden bed in the room. The quality of the small wooden bed wasn't very good. It immediately made an ambiguous creaking sound. Ning, she didn't have time to think too much. Hot kisses fell on her again, lingering on her sensitive earlobes, collarbone, chest. His hot big palms also followed into her clothes, causing waves of tremors wherever they went. However, the slightest movement would cause the small wooden bed to sway like a small boat in a raging storm, as if it was about to fall apart. Ning Shi's nerves were strained by the squeaking sounds. She panted slightly and said, "Holy shit, this little bed. Sweetheart, can I discuss something with you? We might as well go out and find a cornfield to roll in." Lu Tingxiao stopped what he was doing and bit the tender flesh on the girl's chest. "Nonsense. I'm serious." Being interrupted by Ning Shi, the man's violent and out-of-control aura eased a little. He tightened his arms and held the girl in his arms. Ning Shi held the man's arm and put her little head on his chest. "Lu Tingxiao, what happened?" The man's voice was low. "Nothing, I miss you." Ning Shi thought for a while. They hadn't seen each other for a long time because of this movie. His answer didn't seem to be wrong, but she somehow felt that there was something else. "Then, you just told Sister Gigi that what happened today had something to do with you. What did you mean?" Ning Shi asked again. Lu Tingxiao's face froze. "I'm not sure yet, but you just need to focus on earning the dowry. Leave this matter to me." Ning Shi, focus on earning the dowry. The man stared at the girl in front of him, his eyes full of darkness, and his broad palm gently held the girl's waist. "Xianxia, have you ever regretted it?" The man's voice was hoarse. "Regret? Regret what?" Ning Shi was puzzled. "To be with me." Ning Shi's eyes widened, and she said without hesitation, "How could that be? This is the wisest decision I've ever made in my life. Marry one and get one for free. I don't want it to be too profitable." Lu Tingxiao sighed and held the girl's head in his arms. "It's late. Go to sleep. Don't think too much. I'm here. I'll stay with you for a while. We'll leave before dawn." And Ning Shi rubbed against the man's chest and nodded. Because of Lu Tingxiao's appearance, all the unsightly videos and photos on the internet, as well as the malicious words and speculations, suddenly vanished into thin air, turning into a deep sleepiness after exhaustion. The girl clung to his arms like a little animal. She murmured sleepily, "Sweetheart, I like you the most. You're my sunshine." Lu Tingxiao's back suddenly stiffened, and he bent over to plant a kiss on the girl's forehead. The girl beside him had already fallen asleep, but Lu Tingxiao had not slept the entire night. His mind was filled with the video he had just seen not long ago. The video of Ning Shi's second audition. That video had brought him to the moment when she had been in despair all those years ago. The scene in his mind changed, and another scene appeared. Lu Tingxiao opened his email on his cell phone and clicked on the attachment in the most recent anonymous email. There were a few photos in the attachment. The first one was the one he had seen when he had helped Ning Shi move out of her apartment. In the photo was a group of young people dressed in punk and heavy metal. Ning Shi was in the middle, wearing a black motorcycle suit. She was dressed in men's clothing, and there was an unrestrained smile on her face. Her arm was casually resting on a man's shoulder, and she was turning her head to talk to him. Her posture made it seem like they were very familiar with each other. And that man was turning his head to light a lighter. In addition to the dim lighting, he could not see his face clearly. He could only see a blurry side profile and a head of white hair. Chapter 1646. There were few more photos, all of which were of Ning Shi's life in China. Although they were all group photos, and there was no flirtatious action between her and the man, the familiarity and chemistry between the two of them could be clearly seen through the photos. And the last photo was dated on the day of Ning Shi's second audition. In the photo, Ning Shi was lying on the bed, sound asleep. The white-haired man was quietly lying on the edge of the bed, his fingers holding onto the corner of the girl's clothes. He had also fallen asleep. Just yesterday, he had received this anonymous email. The other party had used a virtual IP address, so he could not verify who the sender was. Although none of these photos were explicit, each one was enough to make him lose control of his jealousy. Yes, jealousy, although he did not want to admit it. But all the dark emotions that he had deliberately ignored and suppressed in the depths of his heart were now surging out. Every word that Xianxia had said at that time wreaked havoc in his blood, tearing at every nerve in his body. Lu Tingxiao, actually, I told you from the beginning that I already have someone I like. Very, very. I like him very much. Although for some reason I can't be with him. He will be in my heart for the rest of his life. No one can replace him, and there is no space for him. No matter how good he is, no matter how perfect he is, he can't be with me. Do you understand? The image on the phone changed. Suddenly, a phone call came in, interrupting his thoughts. The dark expression on Lu Tingxiao's face receded like the tide. He picked up the phone quietly, walked to the back of the house, and answered the call. Hello. Boss, we've caught the mole. That guy almost committed suicide. Fortunately, you warned us in advance, and now we've successfully captured him. Got it. I'll come back tomorrow and interrogate him personally. Yes. Lu Tingxiao hung up the phone, a cold, murderous glint flashing in his eyes. The photos in the anonymous email were definitely not something an ordinary person could get their hands on. No matter who the other party was, he had achieved his goal. Even if he knew that the other party had deliberately sent those photos to intensify the conflict between him and that person. Late at night, in a villa in the suburbs of the capital, he slammed the table and stood up. His face was filled with terrifying anger. What did you say? The Black Dragon has been discovered and is now under the control of Lu Tingxiao's men. The subordinate replied in a trembling voice. Trash. The man's face was unusually gloomy. Have you sent anyone over yet? The underling's forehead was dripping with cold sweat. They went, but we didn't find anything. She had already been transferred. Even if we found her, we probably wouldn't be able to save her. The security is too tight. Of course, he knew this. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so angry. Black Dragon was the code name of one of their informants in Lu Enterprises. He was their deepest chess piece. At present, he had a very high status in Lu Enterprises and provided them with countless important information. However, at the same time, Black Dragon also knew countless secrets on their side. Once the Black Dragon fell into Lu Tingxiao's hands, the consequences would be unimaginable. No, I must think of a way to save him. If I can't save him, I must kill him before he opens his mouth. He paced back and forth in the room. Go get Xiao. Tell her to stop her mission and come back immediately. Yes. The subordinate hurriedly accepted the order and retreated. At this moment, a lazy voice came from the door. It's just a waste of effort. Ah shun. He looked at the newcomer. Chapter 1647. It's already in Lu Tingxiao's mouth. Do you think you can get it out? Yun Shan said slowly with a sarcastic look on his face. He frowned. But we can't let the Black Dragon fall into Lu Tingxiao's hands. He knows too much about us. The man raised his eyebrows nonchalantly. So what? He warned him. Shun, don't underestimate him. Lu Tingxiao is not easy to deal with. The man smiled, and his eyes flashed with excitement. What's the point if he's easy to deal with? Xiao Yi's tone suddenly became stern. Shun, you can play as much as you like, but this isn't for you to play around with. Don't forget how your mother died and how the Yun family was destroyed. What does the destruction of the Yun family have to do with me? The man's voice suddenly turned cold. He was stunned. Okay, let's not talk about the Yun family. We'll talk about your mother. Shun, don't let your mother die in vain. Uncle Xiao, you don't have to remind me. I see her dying in front of me every night. Are you satisfied with this answer? Shun, I know you're in pain, but you have to remember that it was the Lu family that gave you all this. 5 a.m. The village was quiet, and everyone in the crew was still asleep, except for Lin Jiji and Xiao Tao, who had been too scared to sleep the whole night. With a slight creaking sound, Lu Tingxiao got up and put on his clothes. He was about to get out of bed when a pair of soft arms wrapped around his waist. Where are you going? Lu Tingxiao turned around and kissed the girl's lips. I have to go. She had not woken up at all. She subconsciously shook her head. No, I don't want you to go. Be good. I'll get up and send you off. No, sleep a little longer. Today's filming is very important. Don't delay it. Lu Tingxiao said gently. Unexpectedly, the girl seemed to have heard some heartless words. She suddenly muttered, "You only know how to make me earn the dowry. You don't even love me anymore." Lu Tingxiao looked helpless, but the indulgence between his eyebrows was almost melting. "I'll stay with you for a while, okay?" The girl was satisfied and went back to sleep. After lying down with her for a while and coaxing and kissing, Lu Tingxiao finally left smoothly. If he waited any longer, he wouldn't be able to leave when everyone else woke up. Lu Tingxiao gently closed the door. Just as he walked to the door, he unexpectedly bumped into someone. Song Lin, seeing him coming out of Ning Shi's room. The other party was not as shocked as he had expected. He just raised his eyebrows slightly. "Boss Lu, what a coincidence." Before Lu Tingxiao could speak, Song Lin smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'll keep it a secret." "Thank you, Xiaoxi. Thank you for taking care of me." Because the person in front of him was his wife's idol, Lu Tingxiao was very polite. "You're welcome, President Lu. I've always liked this girl, but I didn't expect that the girl I saw in President Lu's office that day was really Xiaoxi." Song Lin murmured meaningfully. Then she looked at Lu Tingxiao and said, "President Lu, I have something to talk to you about. When are you free?" "When I'm free, I'll ask my assistant to inform Miss Song." Song Lin smiled. "Okay, then I'll wait for President Lu's news." Chapter 1648. As dawn came, what happened yesterday fermented overnight and now spread all over the internet. An army of internet trolls who always slandered Ning Shi and Xianxia, who still harbored resentment, all appeared at this moment. My God, it's amazing. The video is still being updated. So far, there have been 9 people. Is she going to sleep with everyone in the entertainment circle? I really thought she was an inspirational movie queen. I didn't expect her private life to be so promiscuous. It turns out that all her resources were obtained by sleeping with others. I didn't believe it before when there was no evidence, but now there is irrefutable evidence. No wonder Jiangxini's character was snatched away even though it was already hers. So many people have been exposed. I don't know how many people have been slept with by her. Speaking of which, Ning Shuo, who was forced out of the entertainment circle by Ning Shi, is so pitiful. No wonder the Ning family would rather have an adopted daughter than a biological daughter. It turns out that she is morally corrupt. Don't talk nonsense before we figure it out. We still don't know who the person in the video is. Enough of someone's internet trolls. Are they all blind? They don't believe it even when there is a picture and the truth. What else do you want? You know who the internet trolls are. You have been driven out of the entertainment circle, but you still hire internet trolls to attack brother Shi every day. It's enough. If you're really so innocent and noble, why don't you leave the Ning family to prove it? Why don't you have the cheek to enter his company? Why don't you give up the glory and wealth that you have robbed? Her fans were fighting for her. Ning Shi couldn't do nothing. Since Lu Tingxiao had promised, he must have a way. Ning Shi discussed with Lin Jiji and then posted a simple message on Weibo. The person in the video is not me. Thank you for your trust. As soon as Ning Shi's Weibo post came out, the fans immediately felt like they had a backbone. Their fighting spirit soared, and they worked harder to fight against the haters. As long as she said it, they would believe it. Ning Shi was moved to see her fans spontaneously explaining and unswervingly believing in her. I used to envy Jiang Mai. I didn't expect that one day I would have so many fans supporting me. Hearing Ning, she mentioned Jiang Mai. Lin Jiji suddenly understood something. No wonder with Jiang Mai's personality, he was willing to withdraw. After sending that message, Ning, she went to the shooting location. As soon as she arrived at the scene, the staff gathered in groups of 3 to 5, all looked at her in unison. Ning Shi's expression did not change as she said good morning to everyone, and then walked in front of Jiang Xingzhou. Jiang Xingzhou acted as if nothing had happened. He calmly began to talk to Ning Shi about the script. Seeing Ning Shi's magnanimous performance and the director's attitude, the others had more or less believed Ning Shi. After all, they'd been working together for quite some time. They had all seen this girl's diligence and hard work. Therefore, most of the staff chose to remain neutral. And some people were familiar with Ning. She didn't care that they would be implicated and directly logged into Weibo to express their opinions. I believe that the person in the video is definitely not Ning Shi. It's nonsense to say that Ning Shi became famous by sleeping with people in the entertainment industry, because with her ability, she doesn't need to. Chapter 1649. If they wanted to prove that Ning Shi got the position by selling herself, they had to prove that the resources Ning Shi got weren't real. But in fact, since Ning Shi's debut, every advertisement, endorsement, and movie had been completed exceptionally well. However, the netizens didn't stop there. They started to say that Ning Shi was born to flirt with men and that she had a problem with her morals, even though she was capable. Ning Shi only made a statement on Weibo and didn't release any more evidence. Soon, this kind of public opinion became overwhelming. On the third night, the other party uploaded another video. The man in the video was one of the important investors of Mother. Those who had been attacking Ning Shi were like wolves who saw meat. They started to make a fuss and selectively ignored the fact that even the investors of Director Zhang's crew had no right to interfere with the casting. After all, those who wanted to watch a good show wouldn't mind if things got out of hand, so they only chose to watch the most direct and superficial things. However, the twist of events also began with this video. Watching the latest video, Xiao Tao was so anxious that she lost her composure. Brother Shi, is it really going to be okay? It's been 3 days, but there's no news from Boss, and the evidence is endless. Is Boss really going to be okay? Ning Shi was lying on the bed and applying fresh cucumber slices to her face. She said meaningfully, "Baby, how dare you question Boss's ability?" Xiao Tao was scared. Brother Shi, I'm not. I'm worried about you, and you're making fun of me. What if Boss can't handle it? Not only could she not survive in the entertainment industry, but she would also have to bear such a terrible crime for the rest of her life. For a woman, her life would be completely ruined. The other party was so sinister. They obviously wanted to kill Ning Shi. Ning Shi chuckled. There's no what if. Almost as soon as Ning Shi finished speaking, her phone rang. It was Lu Tingxiao. Sweetheart, are you done? Looking at Brother Shi, who was usually domineering and cool, but became a little woman in love in a second, Xiao Tao felt that her outlook on life had been impacted. Brother Shi couldn't be talking to Boss on the phone, right? Oh my God, Brother Shi actually called Boss sweetheart. That was so sweet. Ning Shi turned on the loudspeaker because she wanted to prove her boss's ability. Sure enough, Lu Tingxiao's voice came from the other end of the phone. Yeah, did you miss me? Xiao Tao, oh my God, I thought only Brother Shi was tired of me. Of course, but fortunately, I've been obedient and focused on filming. The progress here is very fast, and I'll be able to go back in a few days. Be good. Xiao Tao personally heard her boss's gentle and frightening tone. It was almost as if he was coaxing a child. No, the main point is the two of you. In such an urgent situation, can't you get down to business first? She was really a eunuch who was worried to death when the emperor was not worried. Xiaoxi, get ready. A press conference will be held at 8:00 tomorrow evening. I've already sent the details to Lin Jiji. After being tortured for a long time, Xiao Tao finally heard the key point. Her spirits were immediately lifted. A press conference at 8 p.m. tomorrow? Does that mean Boss already has a way to clarify everything? Chapter 1650. Okay, then I'll ask for a day off from the crew. No need. The press conference will be held in a hotel near your filming location. You could just show up there after work. Well, okay. How could he let all the journalists come to this wilderness to hold a press conference? Boss, you are so awesome. After Ning Shi hung up, Xiao Tao almost jumped up with excitement. She was wrong. She shouldn't have questioned the boss. Ah, Brother Shi, the boss is so handsome and considerate. Originally, Brother Shi had done nothing wrong. Why should he pay for this matter? Since they who added fuel to the fire and wished for the world to be in chaos wanted to get gossip so badly they could go there themselves. As soon as Lu Tingxiao called Ning Shi, the official Weibo of Xianxia Entertainment issued a notice, saying that there would be a press conference at the Four Seasons Hotel in City D at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. At that time, they would respond and explain the so-called sleeping with others. With this news, the whole internet was in an uproar. Xianxia Entertainment finally made a public response. Where the press conference would be held was not the point at all. All the invited media rushed to City D without stopping. Ning Shi slept until dawn, and then went to the crew to continue filming as usual. Because the young actors had more scenes today, and the young girls were not experienced enough, and director Jiang was strict, everyone had to do a lot of takes. It was past 7 o'clock when they finished. At the same time, the entrance of the Four Seasons Hotel was surrounded by journalists. Time ticked by, and it was almost 8 o'clock, but there was still no one on Ning Shi's side. The journalists began to whisper, "What's going on? Why hasn't she come yet? Is she playing tricks on us? Could it be that he doesn't dare to come?" Let me tell you, Xianxia Entertainment is completely stubborn. The woman in the video is Ning Shi. There is no doubt about it. Since Ning Shi made her debut, I have been in charge of her news in our newspaper. I know her very well. They can't be mistaken. In fact, I also think that whether it's plastic surgery or natural resemblance, there will be flaws. But the woman in the video, even the mole on her earlobe, is exactly the same. How about you be someone else? Exactly. In the midst of the discussion, a white car pulled over. Someone immediately recognized that it was the exclusive car of Xianxia Entertainment. All of a sudden, flashes came one after another, and all the cameras were aimed at that car. Voila! The car door opened, and a woman walked out. The woman had a head of naturally curly hair, and she was wearing a red dress that made her skin look like white jade. When she raised her head, an incomparably delicate and beautiful face was revealed. Ning Shi, what do you think of the videos and photos that have been leaked online recently? You posted on Weibo that the person in the video isn't him. Is that true? Or are you lying? You said that the person in the video is not you. Do you have any proof? The reporters surrounded the woman like a swarm of locusts, one question after another like a barrage of cannons. The woman's face was deathly pale, and her face was filled with guilt. Such an expression was like a catalyst that made all the reporters even more excited, and they were even more certain that their judgment was correct. Two bodyguards in black and Liang Feixing, the director of the public relations department of Xianxia Entertainment, also got out of the car. Seeing that the woman was surrounded, they didn't react at all, nor did they intend to stop her. Chapter 1651. Of course, the reporters also noticed this, and they immediately realized that Xianxia Entertainment was obviously going to give up on Ning Shi. Ning Shi, are you worthy of so many fans who support you and believe in you? It's too much to be a whore. Are you here to apologize to everyone? Just when the reporters were crazily blocking the entrance of the hotel, they suddenly heard a voice behind them. "Excuse me, everyone." It was Ning Shi's assistant, Hu Tao, who spoke. Hearing this familiar voice, the reporters subconsciously turned their heads to look. With one look, everyone was dumbfounded. There were three people standing behind them. Xiao Tao, Lin Jiji, and the woman in the middle was that Ning Shi. During the shooting, everyone in the crew had completely returned to rural life, and even after finishing work, they still wore coarse linen clothes. Besides, the shooting was a little late today, so Ning Shi was wearing the clothes she usually wore after finishing work. Her hair was casually braided behind her head, and her skin was darker than before because she had been exposed to the sun for a long time. Looking closely, the skin on her hands was also much rougher, full of tiny scars caused by wheat harvesting and farm work. However, the girl's eyes were abnormally bright and spirited, and her whole body was calm and composed. The first thing that attracted people's attention was her aura, not her appearance and attire. The girl glanced at the reporters on the scene and said calmly and politely, "Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm a little late today." Brother Shi, a female reporter who was squeezed at the back, exclaimed excitedly, "Are you blind? This is my brother Shi, okay?" Ning, she had an impression of the female reporter who spoke. She was one of Ning Shi's fans and had been fighting on the front line to protect Ning Shi. As expected, she also came this time. Ning Shi looked at the girl and gave her a grateful smile. The female reporter was even more excited. For some reason, she felt that the girl in front of them was still very beautiful, even in coarse linen clothes. A person's appearance could be disguised, but her temperament could not be imitated overnight. As soon as Ning Shi appeared, even though she was quite different from her usual appearance, everyone instantly knew and concluded that the woman in front of them was the real Ning Shi. So, the woman who got off the car just now was actually a fake? The reporters turned back to look at the woman they had surrounded earlier, and their jaws almost dropped in shock. There was really someone who looked so much like Ning Shi. Her facial features and even the position of the mole on her earlobe were exactly the same. It could definitely be passed off as the real one. The premise was that the main character did not appear. This time, before the reporters came to their senses and surrounded Ning Shi, the bodyguards and Liang Feishing had personally escorted Ning Shi into the hotel. The imposter was escorted inside by another bodyguard. The conditions of the hotel here were not comparable to the capital. The multifunctional hall was packed, and even the corridors were full of people, but no one complained. Everyone was fully focused on the stage. Everyone looked at the real Ning Shi and then at the fake Ning Shi. It was too much for their eyes to take in. The efficiency of Xianxia Entertainment had always been very fast, and they did not beat around the bush. In addition, the boss had specially told them to solve the problem as soon as possible and let the lady boss go back to rest. Liang Feishing gave a few simple opening remarks and then asked the staff to turn on the projector behind him. With a click, the big screen lit up, and a report with the name of an internationally renowned plastic surgery hospital appeared on the top. A series of professional plastic surgery terms flashed past, and then suddenly a comparison picture of two faces appeared below. One was before, and the other was after the plastic surgery. The face after the plastic surgery was Ning Shi's face, and the face before the plastic surgery turned out to be the former top sister of Xianxia Entertainment, Su Yimo. Chapter 1652. When they saw the content on the projector, the small and crowded multi-purpose hall became so quiet that they could hear a pin drop. A few seconds later, the reporters recovered from a shock, and the scene was in an uproar. They stared at the fake Ning Shi, and screams rang out incessantly. Oh my God! My eyes are blinded. Isn't the woman in the photo Su Yimo? There's a name on the medical record. It's written in black and white. It's Su Yimo. Wait. Let me think about it. What the fuck? This fake Ning, she was actually Su Yimo's doing plastic surgery? This is like a modern fantasy drama. Back then, Su Yimo used Mrs. Liu's name to run amok in the entertainment industry. She was in the limelight until the real Mrs. Liu appeared. She exposed her on the spot and announced that she already had a girlfriend. After that, Su Yimo disappeared. Everyone thought that Su Yimo had angered Liu Tingxiao and was banned, so they didn't dare to report any news related to Su Yimo. Who would have thought that they would see Su Yimo again in such a shocking situation? Su Yimo, who had disappeared for so long, suddenly looked exactly like Ning Shi. It was as if they were carved from the same mold. This was too scary. Miss, are you really Su Yimo? Are all the women in those videos you are? Why did you get plastic surgery to look like Ning Shi to frame her? Is it because Ning Shi replaced you that you used this method to take revenge on her? There was no need for Liang Feishing to say more. The reporters had already imagined all the causes and effects. Moreover, this reason was completely logical. The only thing they didn't know was that Ning Shi was Liu Tingxiao's real girlfriend in a fit of rage. They also didn't know why Su Yimo had plastic surgery to look like Ning Shi. Miss Su, please say something. Facing the reporters' relentless questioning, the woman in the red dress's face turned pale. Her body began to tremble violently, as if she had been stripped naked in front of everyone. Liang Feishing frowned slightly and glanced at the woman, sending her a warning and urging look. Only then did the woman finally raise her head. Her exquisite and beautiful face was completely revealed in front of everyone, causing another wave of exclamations. The crowd quietened down and stared at the woman, afraid to miss a word. It was worth it to come all the way to this small place to hold a press conference. Today's news was enough to shake the entire entertainment industry. She also looked at the woman. Out of her trust in Lu Tingxiao, she didn't ask any questions. She didn't know the woman was Su Yimo until she saw the projector. She stared at the face that looked exactly like her and couldn't describe her feelings. Obviously, she was surprised that Su Yimo could do this, facing the countless pairs of eyes in front of her. The woman subconsciously turned her head and glanced at Ningxi. The girl's skin was rough, and her clothes were rustic. Where was the dazzling beauty of the past? This slut, she only relied on her face. Other than that face, what else did she have? And now, for the sake of a few trophies, she actually wasted her only asset. It was simply ridiculous. Chapter 1653. Seeing that the woman was staring at Ningxi without saying a word, the reporters began to urge her to speak. At this time, the woman looked at the crowd and finally spoke. I'm Su Yimo. She knew that since the other party had found her and obtained these things, it was useless for her to deny it. Even though the reporters already knew that she was Su Yimo, they were still shocked when they heard her admit it. It's true. It's really Su Yimo. Is she crazy? Even if Ningxi didn't replace her, it must have been someone else, right? She even went through plastic surgery to frame Ningxi. That's insane. And she slept with so many men under Ningxi's name. Oh my God, my world is shattered. Just when the reporters were about to confirm the whole story, a tall male reporter in the crowd suddenly raised his doubts. Even if she is Su Yimo, it doesn't prove anything, does it? It's her freedom to do whatever she wants with plastic surgery. But it doesn't mean that the woman in the video is her, does it? If you insist, can I also say that Su Yimo was dragged out by Xianxia Entertainment to take the blame for Ningxi? The other reporters looked at each other when they heard the tall reporter's words. This possibility was indeed not impossible. Could it be that Xianxia Entertainment really used her as a scapegoat? Maybe. The two of them looked too similar. It's hard to tell the real one from the fake one. The tall reporter smiled smugly and asked deliberately, Miss Su, were you threatened by Xianxia Entertainment? Su Yimo rolled her eyes and shrunk her shoulders without saying a word. She looked scared, but her reaction only confirmed the reporter's words. Liang Feixing's expression didn't change at all. He stared at the reporter coldly, and then two pictures appeared on the projector behind him. One of the pictures was taken from the last video of Ningxi and the investors of the crew of Mother that was exposed on the internet. In the video, there was a phone lying on the bed. The man unintentionally turned on the phone when he moved, and the screen showed the specific date and time. Because the video was very clear, the date and time on the phone could be seen clearly. The second picture was obviously taken from the surveillance video. In the picture, Ningxi was standing at the door. A woman opened the door and was about to invite her in. This woman was actually Song Lin. More importantly, the time on this surveillance video coincided with the time in the previous picture. What did this mean? Anyone who wasn't blind would understand. Could it be that Ningxi knew how to clone herself? Otherwise, how could she appear on the investor's bed and at Song Lin's door at the same time? At this time, I invited Ningxi to visit my home. Who was the person in the video? The sound of footsteps could be heard coming from the door. It was unknown when Song Lin had arrived. Accompanied by the staff, she walked step by step towards the stage in front. It's Song Lin. It's Teacher Song. Song Lin's status in the entertainment industry was self-evident. No one would doubt what she said. Furthermore, the evidence was conclusive, and Song Lin had personally come out to testify. I knew it. The person in those videos can't be Brother Shi. This time, the truth was finally revealed. Brother Shi has an alibi. Teacher Song's words can't be false. Chapter 1654. The tall reporter's face darkened. So what? There's only one video to prove that she wasn't there. Are you an idiot? As long as there's a video to prove that the person in it isn't Ningxi, they can prove that this woman is framing Ningxi. Actually, I've been suspicious before. If Ningxi is really the kind of scheming villain you guys say, how could she be so careless when doing these things? Every video was captured, and it was so clear, especially her face. Isn't that bullshit? Unless she set it up herself. She plotted for so long, and now she's making a comeback. She's so sinister. Hey, which reporter are you from? Are you Su Yimo's agent? The reporters were all talking at once, and the tall reporter couldn't say a word at all. The tall male reporter saw that the situation was set, so he quietly left the multipurpose room while the reporters were asking Songlin questions. However, this person thought that no one noticed him, but he didn't know that he was already being watched. As soon as he walked out of the door, two tall and strong bodyguards grabbed him and stuffed him into the car. The press conference was over, and this incident finally came to an end. Su Yimo was in a daze, and her face was ashen. She had never expected such a mistake to occur in the end. Liang Feixing looked at the dumbfounded woman beside him, and a mocking sneer appeared on his face. This woman had released so many videos in one go, thinking that the more evidence she released, the harder it would be for Ningxi to turn the tables. However, she had forgotten that the more information there was, the more flaws there would be. I want to see Mr. Liu. I have something to say to Mr. Liu. Su Yimo suddenly grabbed Liang Feixing's arm and said excitedly. Liang Feixing pulled the woman's arm away in disgust and said coldly, "Do you think you can see President Liu whenever you want? Come on, the boss was a wife-protecting maniac. How could he dare to send this woman to the boss for sleeping with other men with his face? Wasn't that courting death?" Su Yimo said anxiously, "I'm innocent. Someone forced me. Someone forced me to do this. I didn't want to hurt Ningxi. How could I dare touch Mr. Liu's woman?" "Someone forced you? Who?" Liang Feixing immediately asked in a deep voice. I want to see Mr. Liu. I'll only talk to Mr. Liu about this," Su Yimo said firmly. Liang Feixing frowned and glanced at her. He walked to the side and called Lu Tingxiao. A moment later, Liang Feixing returned from the call and said impatiently, "Let's go." Mr. Liu agreed to see me. Su Yimo was overjoyed and followed Liang Feixing into the car. After getting into the car, Su Yimo frantically took out her makeup from her bag and started to touch up her makeup. Her makeup today was an imitation of the one Ning she had worn at the Golden Palms Award ceremony. Ever since then, Ningxi had gained the title of Red Carpet Queen. Looking at herself in the mirror, Su Yimo slowly revealed a smile that she had practiced thousands of times. Her face was blessed by the heavens, perfect and flawless. But now it was hers. Even Ningxi herself couldn't compare to her. Liang Feixing glanced at the woman through the rearview mirror as he drove. He saw Su Yimo smiling at Ningxi's face. Although that face was extremely beautiful, it gave him a chill. Chapter 1655. Inside a private room in a private club. Su Yimo's eyes lit up when she saw the cold and arrogant man. "Mr. Liu, cut the crap. Now that you've seen the boss, tell me who's behind this." Liang Feixing urged, afraid that the boss would be unhappy to see her face. "I don't know who he is. He contacted me without telling me who he is, but I was really forced to do this. The man also threatened to kill me if I didn't listen to him. He forced me to have plastic surgery and made me do those things to frame Ningxi." Su Yimo stared at Lu Tingxiao and said that she didn't do it voluntarily. She looked sad and aggrieved, as if she was also a victim. Liang Feixing couldn't help but roll his eyes when he saw the weeping beauty in front of him. Forced? Even if she had someone behind this, it had to be an accomplice, right? This woman obviously wanted Ningxi to lose her reputation, and she might even want to seduce the boss with her face. She must have had a good time working with the other party. How could the boss not know something that even he could figure out? Only this stupid woman still dared to lie and look at the boss with such a blatant expression. After listening to Su Yimo's explanation, Lu Tingxiao raised his hand, and someone quickly came to take Su Yimo out. Su Yimo couldn't believe it. Lu Tingxiao didn't say a word to her or even look her in the eye. Mr. Lu, everything I said is true. Su Yimo's voice disappeared outside the door. Liang Feixing walked closer and said tentatively, Boss, should we use some special methods to get information from her? Lu Tingxiao said, no need. It was obvious that Su Yimo didn't know anything. Since the other party dared to do this, they wouldn't leave any clues behind. Liang Feixing also thought of this and said solemnly, Su Yimo can't get anything out of her, and the reporter said he was paid to do this. What should we do now? Is it possible that Su Yimo directed and acted on her own? There's no one behind this at all. You can go back now. Someone will investigate this, Lu Tingxiao said. Oh, got it. I will focus on taking care of the lady boss. Liang Feixing nodded repeatedly, then said, Don't worry, boss. Based on what Su Yimo has done, including framing, slandering, and spreading false information, she'll be locked up in jail for at least 3 to 5 years. Also, her face has recovered to this extent in such a short time. She must have used radical and quick plastic surgery. Her face will be ruined in less than half a year. Let her go, Lu Tingxiao suddenly said. Liang Feixing was dumbfounded. Damn, let her go. Could it be that the boss was soft-hearted because of that face? Pooh, how could the boss be the kind of person who would be blinded by lust? Even if he was blinded by lust, he would only be blinded by the lady boss's beauty. Boss, are you preparing to lure the snake out of its hole? D-City. This press conference was probably the easiest one Ning she had ever held. She didn't even say a word during the whole process. Sister Lin, thank you so much this time. On the way back, Ning, she couldn't stop thanking her. Song Lin looked at the girl's grateful little face. Although she didn't put on any makeup and even deliberately exposed herself to the sun for this movie, her skin wasn't in good condition, but she was still cute no matter how you looked at it. Don't thank me. I didn't find a clue. What I did was very easy. I still have to thank you for being willing to help me. So I still have to thank you. In the entertainment industry, it was better to avoid trouble than trouble. No one was willing to get involved in this kind of thing. Moreover, with Song Lin's status, she could completely stay out of it. Ever since she met Song Lin, she felt that Song Lin took care of her too well. It was to the extent that she was flattered. If she was a man, she would probably want to devote herself to the goddess. Chapter 1656. After the press conference of Xianxia Entertainment, all the related videos disappeared from the internet. Then, Su Yimo's crazy action of plastic surgery and shocking gossip became the topic of everyone's leisure time. It wasn't until Ning Shi's movie was finished that the heat of the news died down. Sister Lin, I can finally go back to the capital. To express my gratitude, I'll treat you to a good meal tomorrow night. The night before the filming was done, Ning Shi immediately went to ask Song Lin out. She hadn't been able to thank her properly because she had to rush the filming schedule. The first thing she did when she was free was to make up for the meal. Song Lin showed a regretful expression. Tomorrow? I have an appointment tomorrow night. Can I do it another day? Of course, I'm fine with any day. Song Lin had just returned to the capital, so there must be a lot of people she wanted to see. Ning Shi didn't think much about it and agreed. After returning to the room, Ning, she called Lu Tingxiao happily. Honey, I'm going home tomorrow. I'll ask Ching Feng to pick you up at the airport. I have an appointment tonight, but I'll try to come back early, Lu Tingxiao said softly. Okay, I got it. Go do what you need to do. The next day, in the imperial capital, at a certain membership-based Chinese private restaurant. Yo, second young master. What brings you here, wearing an embroidered Chong Sam? The lady boss greeted Lu Jingli enthusiastically. I'm treating a few clients to dinner tonight. Help me prepare the private room. Lu Jingli looked like a workaholic. Aya, what a coincidence. Your private room is occupied tonight. The lady boss said apologetically. Someone is using it. Who? Lu Jingli frowned. Boss Lu, the lady boss replied. My brother? How is that possible? Lu Jingli looked surprised. Wasn't sister-in-law coming back today? Who was so important to ask his brother out today? And they were eating here. This private restaurant was called Wangjiang Restaurant. There was a private room specially reserved for Lu Enterprises. There would definitely be a seat if they came. Who is my brother? Lu Jingli asked curiously. This. The lady boss looked a little hesitant upon hearing this. Lu Jingli raised an eyebrow. What else can't you tell me? Of course, the lady boss knew how close the two brothers were. Thinking that there was nothing to hide, she answered, President Lu is meeting Miss Song. Miss Song? Which Miss Song? It's Boss Lu's rumored girlfriend. The lady boss said mysteriously with an expression that said, You don't have to hide it from me. I already know. Lu Jingli raised his eyebrows. Who told you my sister-in-law's surname is Song? The lady boss was stunned for a moment. Is Mr. Lu's girlfriend not Song Lin? Lu Jingli was speechless. Song Lin? The hole in your brain is too big. I'm misunderstood. President Lu is meeting Miss Song Lin tonight. I thought. I'm sorry. The lady boss apologized with a smile. Lu Tingxiao's rumored girlfriend had always been a mystery, but many people guessed that it was someone from the entertainment industry. Who else in the entertainment industry would be qualified to attract a man like Lu Tingxiao? Song Lin was the most likely. So when the lady boss saw that Lu Tingxiao was meeting Song Lin tonight, she subconsciously thought that it was Song Lin. She didn't expect it to be her. That was really strange. Who could it be? Chapter 1657. Lu Jingli touched his chin when he heard the lady boss's words. What? My brother is meeting Song Lin tonight? Why did he ask Song Lin out? Recently, Lu Enterprises had been in a fierce struggle with the other side. All the major shareholders were competing to win over Song Lin, who had 5% of Lu Enterprises shares. Was it related to this matter? Thanks, I see. Lu Jingli thought absent-mindedly as he unconsciously walked to the door of the private room. Based on his instincts that were as sharp as a radar, he somehow felt that things might not be that simple tonight, at this moment, in the private room. Thank you for your help last time, Miss Song. Lu Tingxiao toasted the person opposite him. Song Lin took a sip of wine and said with a smile, President Lu, you're welcome. I will certainly help Xiaoxia. Hearing this, Lu Tingxiao was slightly stunned. Song Lin continued, Xiaoxia and I hit it off very well. I've always liked her. There are few girls like her in the entertainment industry. She really likes acting. She has such a good appearance, but she is still willing to work hard and always keeps her heart. Even though she has a backer like President Lu, she never uses it. It's really cute, Song Lin said a lot, but Lu Tingxiao just listened quietly from beginning to end without interrupting her. As expected, Song Lin suddenly changed the topic. President Lu, do you know that someone recently offered a high price to buy 5% of Lu Enterprises shares from me? Lu Tingxiao nodded. I know a little. Compared with those who were hard to shake, Song Lin, who was neutral, was naturally the best target for the other party to win over. This was also expected, and this was another reason why he asked Song Lin out today. Outside the private room, Lu Jingli's nerves tightened when he heard this. Oh my God, it was really because of the shares. For some reason, he had a bad premonition. What was going on? I'm struggling. Should I sell the shares or not? Song Lin shook the red wine glass in her hand and said meaningfully. Her hint was very obvious. Your condition. Lu Tingxiao went straight to the point. Since the other party came to him, it meant that there was room for negotiation. In other words, the other party wanted something from him. Outside the door, Lu Jingli was biting his nails nervously. Damn, with this situation, he could already predict what would happen next. After all, there were so many women who wanted to marry into the Lu family that they could twist the entire capital into a ball of yarn. Was Song Lin going to use the shares to threaten her brother? Actually, I'm not interested in money. Acting is just a way to kill time, but recently I found something I haven't seen for a long time that I really want, Song Lin said as she stared at the man opposite her. What I want is outside the private room. Lu Jingli was beating his chest and stamping his feet anxiously when he heard this. He was like an ant on a hot pan. Damn. As expected, he had really guessed everything correctly. As expected, this Song Lin also harbored ill intentions towards her brother. The next sentence that Song Lin was going to say would definitely be, I want you I want Ningxi. Lu Tingxiao, Lu Jingli, who was nicknamed Divine Mathematician. What? What did Song Lin just say? There must be a problem with the way he eavesdropped. Chapter 1658. The person Song Lin liked was not his brother, but little Cece. The development of this plot was like a wild dog out of control. It was completely out of the ordinary. Lu Jingli stood at the door of the private room in a daze. He looked as if he had been struck by lightning, and his whole body smelled burnt. My little Cece is amazing. He almost wanted to kneel down in front of that girl. He felt so sorry for his brother. There was a full 10 seconds of silence in the private room. She's not an object. The man's face was as cold as frost, and the atmosphere in the private room suddenly sank. This was the result of him suppressing his emotions for Ning Shi's sake. President Lu, you understand what I mean. Song Lin looked at him. I completely understand why you chose little Cece. She is indeed too cute and charming, and what you like is just her beautiful appearance. In that case, there should be a more suitable candidate than her in front of you, right? Song Lin was obviously referring to Su Yimo. As for little Cece, she was born for her dream and for all the fans, not someone's pet or exclusive property. She is not a pet, nor is she an exclusive property, but someone I will spend my life with. Song Lin did not seem to expect to hear such an answer. She looked stunned for a moment and frowned slightly. I think President Lu knows very well that you are not suitable for her at all, and you can't give her what she wants, but I can help her reach the height she most desires in life. At this moment, suddenly, there was a plop. Lu Jingli was too shocked to stand still and fell into the room. Song Lin and Lu Tingxiao's eyes subconsciously looked toward the door. Both Song Lin and his brother's expressions were somewhat indescribable. Lu Jingli got up with a bitter face and scratched his head awkwardly. Aha, I was just passing by and accidentally fell in. You guys can continue. After saying that, he disappeared like a wisp of smoke. 5 seconds later, Lu Jingli ran back and poked half of his head in nervously. He coughed softly and said, Ahem, beauty song, actually you're mistaken about one thing. Little Cece's dream is to stand at the top of the entertainment industry, but she's so eager to reach the pinnacle of life. It's all because she wants to marry my brother. After Lu Jingli finished speaking, he slammed the door shut and left, hiding his achievements and fame. Song Lin, Ning Tianxin was about to go abroad, so Ningxi took the opportunity to invite her out for dinner. Big sister Tianxin, Wangjiang restaurant's Chinese dishes are really good. If you go overseas, you won't be able to eat as much good food as our foodie country. You have to eat more tonight. Ningxi held Ning Tianxin's arm intimately and sighed. The two sisters were walking inside when they unexpectedly bumped into two people head-on. Lu Tingxiao and her goddess, Ning. She was confused when she saw the two of them walking out of a box together. Could it be that the goddess said she had an appointment tonight, and the person was Lu Tingxiao? Lu Tingxiao was talking about Sister Lin? Ning, she blinked, and it took her a long time to react. She hurriedly greeted them. Boss, Sister Lin, come over for dinner too. Although Ning, she's tone sounded normal, her expression was obviously a little unnatural as she looked at the two of them. Seeing Ning, she's reaction, Lu Tingxiao knew that she might have misunderstood something. He frowned slightly, but it was not convenient for him to explain in this situation. Yes, something came up at the company. Chapter 1659. Oh, I have dinner with Sister Tianxin. Lu Tingxiao ruffled her hair. I'll wait for you. Okay. After that, the two of them walked in their respective directions. Halfway through, Ning she couldn't help but turn back to look at the backs of the two. Although Song Lin was slightly older than Lu Tingxiao, she had taken good care of herself. No one would doubt that she was a young lady in her 20s. However, the aura she exuded was not something an ordinary girl could compare to. Standing next to Lu Tingxiao, it was as if they were two kings standing side by side. That was what she had always wanted to be able to stand side by side with Lu Tingxiao. Ning, she was watching and vaguely seemed to have heard their conversation. Boss Lu, I'm serious about what I've said today. I hope you can consider it carefully. No need. Ning, she had been absent-minded since she entered the room. Ning Tianxin saw what happened just now and asked worriedly, Xiaoxi, are you all right? Didn't Mr. Lu say it? We're talking about the company. Don't think too much. Ning, she banged her head on the table. Ouch. How can you do this? Ning Tianxin was about to persuade her when Ning, she said, My goddess and Mr. Boss are a perfect match. Don't you think? Ning Tianxin was speechless. She didn't expect this at all. Ning, she sighed for a while, and then she was so excited that she wanted to roll on the ground. I feel like my idol has been snatched away. Ning Tianxin didn't know what to say. This girl wasn't worried about Lu Tingxiao being robbed, but worried about Songlin being robbed? Perhaps it was because in this girl's subconscious, she was certain that no one could snatch Lu Tingxiao away from her. Ning Tianxin had been worried about Ning Shi and Lu Tingxiao, but as time went by, she knew that Lu Tingxiao was serious about Ning Shi. What moved her the most was their trust in each other. Platinum Palace. Lu Jingli rushed in as soon as Lu Tingxiao got home. On the sofa in the living room, his brother was frowning and pinching his forehead. Lu Jingli sympathized with him. The men who wanted to steal his brother's wife had evolved to such an extent. They were getting more and more vicious. Lu Jingli walked over and sighed. Brother, it's my fault. I didn't find out Song Lin's background. She hid it so well. Who would have thought that she's so open to both men and women? At this point, Lu Jingli carefully glanced at his brother and then muttered, You know, Song Lin has an extraordinary place in little Cece's heart. If this woman can't lay her hands on you, she will directly lay her hands on little Cece. I'm really afraid that little Cece won't be able to control herself. Lu Jingli shivered when he saw his brother's death stare, but he still forced himself to say, Brother, don't doubt me. I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, so I know all too well how important an idol is to a fan. Not to mention a boyfriend, even a husband has to step back in front of an idol at a critical moment. All in all, his brother's rival in love this time was really awesome. Chapter 1660. After dinner, Ning she sent Ning Tianxin home and drove to the palace. Ning she had a lot on her mind on the way. She wanted to hug Little Bun when she remembered that Little Bun was still at the mansion. Thus, Ning she suddenly became like a sunflower without the sun. She threw herself on the sofa with her head down and head down. She didn't know how long she had been in a daze when she heard footsteps behind her. Why are you lying here? Ning she turned around and saw Lu Tingxiao in his pajamas. He seemed to have just taken a shower. Looking up and down at the handsome man in front of her, Ning she suddenly puffed her cheeks and showed a dissatisfied expression. Lu Tingxiao sat down next to her. Something's on your mind? Ning she nodded. Yeah. Lu Tingxiao asked, because of Song Lin? Ning she nodded again. Yeah. Lu Tingxiao deliberated over his words, thinking about how to broach the subject. My goddess suddenly became my rival. How am I supposed to face my goddess in the future? Ning Shi complained. Ning Shi and Lu Jingli had the same thought at the beginning. They both thought that Song Lin liked Lu Tingxiao. Hearing this, Lu Tingxiao, honey, you're thinking too much. Song Lin isn't your rival. She's mine. Ning Shi didn't notice Lu Tingxiao's strange expression. She was still feeling sad. But this person was Song Lin, the idol she had always admired. Even she felt that Song Lin was almost perfect and more compatible with Lu Tingxiao than her. Lu Tingxiao sighed when he saw the girl's hesitation. He didn't tell Ning Shi the truth. After all, Song Lin was Ning Shi's idol. He didn't want to ruin Ning Shi's pure and beautiful relationship. Lu Tingxiao said, It's good that you know, so you better not get too close to Song Lin in the future. Ning Shi felt that Lu Tingxiao was right. She nodded. I know. After all, their relationship was too awkward. Lu Tingxiao hugged the little girl's frosty eggplant head on his shoulder and continued to coax her. From today onwards, try to avoid being alone with Song Lin, understand? Ning Shi. Okay. Lu Tingxiao continued. Don't accept her invitation after 10 p.m. Ningxi, oh, Lu Tingxiao, keep your distance and avoid any physical contact. The corners of Ningxi's mouth twitched slightly. The first two are understandable, but why is this one? We're all women. Isn't it normal for us to hug each other? To avoid any conflicts, Lu Tingxiao casually explained. She scratched her head. Oh, was that so? Why did she feel that there was something strange about these three requests when they were linked together? Forget it. I won't think about it anymore. She rolled into Lu Tingxiao's arms, her watery eyes full of desire. Sweetheart, I miss little Bun. Do you have work tomorrow? Lu Tingxiao asked. Ningxi's eyes immediately lit up. No, I'm off tomorrow. Other than sending Sister Tianxin to the airport, there's nothing else. All right, I'll bring Xiaobao back tomorrow. When she heard that she could see little Bao, Ningxi instantly forgot all her worries. Chapter 1661. In a private room of a bar in the capital, the woman took out a contract from her bag and put it on the tea table. Then she lit a cigarette and took a drag lazily. Tang Ye's eyes lingered on the contract for a second, and then he reached out to take it. After a quick look, he was surprised to find that the transfer of shares had been signed with a woman's name, Song Lin. Yunshin leaned back on the sofa, holding a glass of red wine in his hand, and glanced at the signed transfer of shares. What's wrong? Miss Song, have you changed your mind? Song Lin unhurriedly spat out a mouthful of smoke. I have no reason to refuse President Yun's offer, do I? Yun Shun glanced at the woman opposite him with a faint smile. He certainly didn't believe that she sold the shares to him because of this offer. If she was really tempted by this offer, she wouldn't have waited so long. I didn't expect that. Miss Song is also interested in Mrs. Lu's position. Yun Shun's words were explicit. The implication was that Song Lin was going to use the 5% shares to fight for Lu Tingxiao, but she failed. Song Lin raised her eyebrows and said quietly, I do have something I'm interested in, but it's not Lu Tingxiao. Oh, Song Lin seemed to think of something, and her eyes suddenly lit up. President Yun, do you know the little girl beside Lu Tingxiao? Yin Shun's hand that was shaking the wine glass subconsciously paused. Ningxi? I've heard of her. Why? Song Lin tilted her head and chuckled. She's cute. The corner of Yin Shun's mouth twitched. Even Tang Ye's face darkened. Obviously, neither of them had expected to hear such an answer. Song Lin raised her eyebrows and said, President Yun can't be such a vulgar person, can he? Yin Shun's face darkened. He was not interested in Song Lin's sexual orientation, nor did he think it was strange. But the man she liked, he really didn't expect that the reason why Song Lin chose to stand on the same front with him was so incredible. He guessed that Song Lin used the 5% shares to exchange for Ningxi with Lu Tingxiao, but Lu Tingxiao refused, so she turned to him. On one hand, it was because of Lu Tingxiao's rejection. On the other hand, it was probably because he still hadn't given up. The Lu family had long wanted to unite by marriage. The greater the pressure on Lu Enterprises, the more they would urge and speed up this matter. At that time, Lu Tingxiao would marry another woman, and the two would naturally break up. After thinking for a moment, Yunshin stretched out his hand. Well, Miss Song, it's a pleasure to cooperate with you. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. There was another saying, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Happy cooperation. Yin Shan was about to continue to talk about the details of the contract when his phone suddenly rang. Hello, boss. We've rescued Black Dragon. Rescued? Yin Shan looked surprised. Got it. I'll be right back. After answering the phone, Yin Shan looked at the woman in front of him apologetically. I'm sorry. I have something urgent to deal with. I'll talk to you another day. President Yun, please do as you please. In a garden in the suburbs of Beijing, Yunshin and Tang Yi hurried back. What's going on? Who did it? Yunshin asked in a deep voice. Even Feng Xiaoxiao failed to get Black Dragon out. How did he get Black Dragon out now? Originally, He had already prepared for the worst, because based on his understanding of Lu Tingxiao, he would never give them any chance to rescue him. Chapter 1662. The man replied hurriedly, "I was patrolling at night when I suddenly found someone at the gate. I took a closer look and found that it was Black Dragon." Yin Shun narrowed his eyes. "You mean Black Dragon appeared at the gate by himself?" "Yes. Did anyone on our side do it?" The man frowned and said in a low voice, "At first, I thought it was one of our people, but I checked and found that after you gave the order last time, we gave up the operation. I don't think anyone would act on their own." "Boss, do you think Black Dragon escaped on his own?" Yin Shun glanced at him unhurriedly. "Huh, escaped on his own? Why don't you try to escape?" The man shivered in fear and stopped talking. After all, not only had Feng Xiaoxiao failed to save the Black Dragon, she had almost been imprisoned herself. The Black Dragon had been tormented to the point where he was on his last breath. So how could he have escaped? "Where is he?" Yin Shun asked. "He's upstairs, but he's still unconscious. Inform me immediately when he wakes up." "Yes." Yin Shun looked at Tang Yi, who had been silent all this while. He leaned over and put his arm on Tang Yi's shoulder. "Yi, what are you thinking about?" Tang Yi came back to his senses and said thoughtfully, "I just feel that this is very strange. It's impossible for Black Dragon to escape on his own, but it's not our people who did it either. What does this mean? Someone is helping us in the dark." Naturally, he had also thought of this. Tang Yi looked at the man who had discovered the Black Dragon. "Send someone to check on Lu Tingxiao's reaction." "Yes." Soon, the man on the other side sent a message. "Boss, Brother Yi, we've asked around. Lu Tingxiao's place was broken into by an unknown person tonight and took away Black Dragon without leaving any traces. Lu Tingxiao's people don't know who did it. I guess they think it's our people." The man replied hurriedly. "Broken by force?" Yin Shun said with a drawl. Tang Yi's expression changed slightly. The place where Black Dragon was imprisoned was full of traps. It didn't just require good martial arts skills. One also needed to know all kinds of ways to crack the traps and extremely rich experience. Someone who could meet all these requirements, Tang Yi said in a low voice. "What we can be sure of is that someone is secretly helping us. There are two possibilities for this person's identity. The first possibility is that this person's overall strength is above Xiaoxiao's. Among the people I know, no one would suddenly help us in this matter for no reason. The second possibility is that there's a mole on Lu Tingxiao's side. That's why he was able to smoothly break in and take her away." Yin Shun touched his chin. It's getting more and more interesting. Boss, the Black Dragon is awake." At this time, someone hurriedly ran over to report. In one of the rooms upstairs. When a man on the bed saw Tang Yi and Yin Shun, he immediately struggled to get up. "Boss, Brother Yi." Tang Yi reached out and pressed on the man's shoulder. "You don't have to get up. Just lie down. I just have something to ask you. Who was the person who saved you?" The Black Dragon was taken aback. "Didn't you send someone to save me? You didn't see the person who saved you." Tang Yi frowned. The Black Dragon tried hard to recall. "I remember that I fell asleep, and then someone approached me, but I didn't have time to see who it was before I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was already here." Chapter 1663. Tang Yi and Yin Shun exchanged glances but didn't say a word. Soon, Xiao Yi rushed over after hearing the news. "What happened?" Tang Yi briefly explained the situation to Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi glared at Black Dragon, who was lying on the bed. Black Dragon endured his injuries and hurriedly said, "Boss, Uncle Xiao, don't worry. I only gave them some insignificant information. They tried so hard to find out about our underground trading channels. Luckily, I was rescued tonight. Otherwise, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to hold on." They couldn't be blamed for being so nervous. Black Dragon was in Lu Tingxiao's hands, and the situation was already tense. If they weren't careful, they would lose everything. If their channels were exposed, all the underground trading would stop and the losses would be devastating. If they didn't stop taking risks, they would be caught red-handed by the black cats. As Black Dragon spoke, Feng Xiaoxiao rushed in like a whirlwind. She rolled up her sleeves and shouted, "Fuck! Who is this? Are you trying to ruin my business? Little Black, who rescued you?" Even she, the #1 mercenary in the world of mercenaries, couldn't rescue him. How could he be rescued by someone else? If this wasn't ruining her business, what else could it be? "Sister Xiao, I was unconscious at the time, so I don't know." Black Dragon smiled bitterly. He didn't forget to comfort Feng Xiaoxiao. They might be a mole in Lu Holdings. Xiao, he looked at Feng Xiaoxiao with a dark expression. "Xiao, from now on, you don't have to interfere with anything here. You must complete your S-rank mission within a month." Feng Xiaoxiao straightened her back and accepted the order with a tearful expression. "Yes, master. Damn it. She would rather die than get rid of that cat in a month." The next morning, at the Lu family mansion. "What did you say?" Lu Chongshan stood up angrily when he heard his subordinate's report. Yin Rui's face was also filled with anxiety. "You're saying that Song Lin sold all her shares to those people over there?" "Yes, the information is accurate. We've already verified it. Does Ting Xiao know?" Lu Chongshan asked in a low voice. "President Lu is aware." "All right, you can leave." Lu Chongshan waved his hand impatiently. After his subordinate left, Lu Chongshan could no longer suppress the anger on his face. "This Song Lin, our Lu Corporation has never mistreated her all these years. How could she betray us without a second word? She betrayed us just like that. Actors are indeed heartless." "That's right." Yin Rui frowned. "I thought Song Lin was a nice person. I didn't expect. Where's Xiao Bao? Are you up yet? We can't wait any longer." Lu Chongshan urged impatiently. Originally, when he found out that Xiao Bao was willing to try to accept those socialites and had been very cooperative during this period of time, he was very gratified. However, as time went by, he realized that although the little fellow was very serious, she was a little too serious. She had spent so much time just selecting the candidates for the preliminary selection that the tea party had yet to officially start. The situation was getting worse and worse. They really couldn't wait any longer. Grandma. At this time, a soft and squishy little bun walked down from upstairs. Chapter 1664. Today, little Bun was dressed extremely adorably. His cheeks were rosy, and he called out Grandpa and Grandma in a childish voice. It was enough to melt people's hearts. Even if he asked them to pluck the stars from the sky, they would definitely pluck them for him without hesitation. "Hey, Xiaobao, come to Grandpa." Lu Chongshan's face was full of anger just now, but when he saw his precious grandson, he immediately smiled. "Hug Grandpa." The little boy enthusiastically opened his short arms and walked toward his grandfather. Lu Chongshan was so happy that he didn't know what to do. He quickly hugged the little boy in his arms. Okay, Grandpa, hug. "Grandpa, Papa will come to take Xiaobao home later. Xiaobao hasn't been with Papa for a long time. But don't worry, Grandpa, Xiaobao will come back soon to accompany Grandpa. Grandpa, don't miss Xiaobao too much." The little boy coaxed him as if he was coaxing a child, acting like a little adult. Lu Chongshan was extremely comforted. Okay, my Xiaobao is so obedient and filial." Yin Rui was speechless as she looked at her husband's sudden change in attitude. She coughed lightly to remind him. Who was the one who was so anxious just now? But as soon as he saw Xiaobao, he forgot everything. Lu Chongshan finally reacted and coughed slightly awkwardly. He then looked at his precious grandson and asked in an extremely gentle tone, "Xiaobao, have you chosen the name list? You have to make a decision within this month." Xiaobao rolled his eyes. He knew that this was the best he could do, and it was time to move on to the next step. Thus, he nodded decisively. "Okay, Grandpa, Xiaobao will definitely do it as soon as possible. It will be done in a few days." Lu Chongshan immediately let out a long sigh of relief. That's good. Sigh, his precious grandson was indeed the most obedient and considerate. Xiaobao went to Grandma again and held her hand. He asked seriously, "Grandma, what kind of daughter-in-law do you like?" "Xiaobao will help you choose a daughter-in-law who is the most obedient, sensible, and filial like Xiao Bao. Take care of Grandma together with Xiao Bao and be filial to Grandma. Hearing this, Yin Rui was so touched that she didn't know what to do. Xiao Bao is so obedient. Thank you, my good grandson. Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan were chatting happily with their grandson. When Lu Chongshan saw his son walking in from the corner of his eyes, his face immediately darkened. Lu Chongshan, coming. Lu Tingxiao glanced at his son, who had managed to coax his parents into submission. Okay, I'm here to pick up Xiao Bao. Lu Chongshan's expression turned even worse. How could he not know that he was picking up Xiao Bao to meet that woman? He just didn't want to make Xiao Bao unhappy. You know about what happened to Song Lin? Lu Chongshan asked in a deep voice. I know. Lu Tingxiao's face was expressionless. Lu Chongshan felt as if he had punched cotton. Because he didn't want to talk about this in front of Xiao Bao to avoid a quarrel, he didn't continue in the end. Go on, take care. Goodbye, Grandpa. Goodbye, Grandma. All right. Goodbye, little treasure. Be careful on the road. After getting in the car, Xiao Bao immediately switched from a cute and obedient grandson to a noble and elegant state. Where's Mom? Without a doubt, the first thing he asked was his mother. She's at your aunt's place. We'll send her off at the airport later, Lu Tingxiao answered. Yes. Little Bun nodded and didn't say anything else. She buried her head and fiddled with her phone. Who knew what she was fiddling with? Chapter 1665. At the Mo residence. Mo Lingtian was sleeping soundly when he was woken up by the ringing of his phone. He was furious. Who is it? Do you want to die so early in the morning? Fuck. Mo Lingtian, I'm getting married today. Didn't you say you were going to pick up the bride with your brother? Look at the time. A man's angry voice came from the other end of the phone. Mo Lingtian was stunned. He mumbled in a daze, pick up the bride? Fuck. Don't tell me you forgot. Mo Lingtian, what's wrong with you recently? You're always absent-minded. You don't come to gatherings or group activities. How can you forget such a big event as my wedding? Stop yelling. I'll be there soon. I'm hanging up. Mo Lingtian hung up the phone. He rubbed his messy hair irritably. He quickly changed his clothes and washed up. Then, he rushed downstairs like a gust of wind. In the living room, Mo Jianzhong and Kang Shui were having breakfast. Mo Lingtian took a piece of toast. Dad, Mom, I'm not eating breakfast. I have something urgent to do. I have to go now. Kang Shui frowned and stopped him. At least eat a few mouthfuls. Where are you going so early in the morning? How's Yi's wedding? Mo Lingtian answered casually. Oh, that's right. That kid from the Zhou family is getting married today. Kang Shui suddenly remembered. She mumbled in a daze. After a while, she came back to her senses. Then go quickly. Don't be late. Okay. Mo Lingtian answered in a muffled voice and hurried out. When he reached the door, Mo Lingtian's face immediately darkened. In the past, his parents would take turns to nag him for 3 days and 3 nights, even if his friends found a girlfriend. They would urge him to find a girlfriend and force him to get married, let alone get married. However, ever since that incident, they never mentioned asking him to find a girlfriend or urging him to get married again. He had never had such peace since he was 20 years old. He was so unaccustomed to it. A woman's murmur appeared in his mind. Lingtian, this is the last thing I can do for you. He knew he owed her too much. However, self-blame and guilt were not love. Mo Lingtian wiped his face and wiped away the messy thoughts in his mind. He started the engine. Imperial Capital Airport. Ningxi hugged the girl in front of her reluctantly. Sister Tianxin, I can't bear to part with you. I'll keep in touch with you. Remember to take good care of yourself. If you need any help, you must tell me. Got it. Also, remember to take the medicine that Annie prescribed for you. Also, the security in foreign countries is not as good as in China. Be especially careful. Don't go out alone at night. Also, seeing that she didn't stop talking, someone said helplessly, Come on, I'm here. Do you have to worry so much? I guarantee that I will properly settle Tianxin down. You can rest assured. She hugged Tianxin and glared at Qin Mufeng. You're the one I'm most worried about. Qin Mufeng looked innocently at Lu Tingxiao for help. Lu Tingxiao put his arm around Ning Shi's shoulder and patted her reassuringly. Okay, good girl. We don't have much time. Mu Feng is very familiar with the airport. I'll ask the assistant of the branch company to pick him up. There won't be any problem. Okay. Ning Shi finally let go of Ning Tianxin reluctantly. Sister Tianxin, goodbye. Xiaobao, come say goodbye to your aunt. Chapter 1666. Xiao Bao walked up to her obediently and said, Auntie, this is the present I prepared for you. The little boy gave her a parting gift. It was a portrait of Ning Tianxin that he had drawn based on the photo his mother had sent him. He even framed it. The little boy rarely drew portraits other than his mama. It was obvious that he liked his aunt very much. Ning Tianxin took it and looked at the little boy with a gentle expression. She squatted down and hugged him. Thank you, Xiao Bao. I like it very much. The little boy's body was soft and had a milky fragrance. It made one's eyes water. Ning Tianxin quickly let go of the little boy. Xiaoxi, I'm leaving. You should go back now. Okay, take care. Ning Shi was a little disappointed after seeing Ning Tianxin off. Xiao Bao saw his mother was sad and immediately comforted her. Mom, don't be sad. All good things must come to an end. I believe that Annie will have a new and better start. Ning Shi looked at her baby son and smiled. Yes, Xiao Bao is right. Qin Mufeng said he was going to China on a business trip. He could go with Ning Tianxin and take care of her on the way. He had already told Ning Shi's intentions towards Ning Tianxin, so Ning Shi knew that he had an ulterior motive. However, she didn't know if they could be together in the end. If it was possible, Qin Mufeng was indeed a good partner. In the distance, the plane roared as it rose into the sky, gradually moving further and further away until it disappeared. Ning Shi finally looked away and sent a message to her friend circle. All good things must come to an end. My dear sweetheart, I believe that you will have a new and better start. In a high-end villa area in the capital, a lively wedding was going on. A group of people were laughing and joking. The atmosphere was very warm. Don't go in. Don't go in. Where's the red packet? Give me the red packet. No. It's not enough. Do 100 push-ups first. Wow, you guys are cheating. How can you do 10 push-ups each? Mo Lingtian followed the groomsmen and mingled with the crowd. From time to time, he would come up with some bad ideas. After struggling for a long time, he finally helped his brother enter the door smoothly. Zhua Haoran was one of the libertines in their circle. Usually, he was very playful. At this moment, looking at his wife, he smiled like a fool and clumsily helped the girl put on her shoes. Mo Lingtian stood leaning against the wall, quietly watching the scene in front of him. At this moment, it was so lively, but somehow his heart felt empty. His phone rang from time to time. He casually opened his WeChat moments and scrolled through it. It was all his friends' blessings for Zhua Haoran's wedding, and he casually gave them a few likes. As he continued to scroll down, Mo Lingtian's expression froze in an instant. She-devil, all good things must come to an end. My dear sweetheart, may you have a new beginning. She-devil was his remark for Ning Shi. Sweetheart. Seeing this word and the meaning of this sentence, Mo Lingtian's expression became inexplicably tense. He hurriedly clicked on the photo below. The accompanying picture was a picture. In the picture, there was an exquisitely framed portrait of a person with a bright and exaggerated style. However, based on the features of the portrait, it was easy to recognize that the person was Ning Tianxin. Chapter 1667. Mo Lingtian looked at the message and the picture on the phone over and over again. Judging from the style of the picture, it was drawn by Xiao Bao. The person in the picture should be Ning Tianxin. All good things must come to an end. What did it mean? At this time, he noticed that Ning Shi's current location showed that she was at the capital airport. After seeing the location clearly, Mo Lingtian's fingers trembled slightly. Before his brain could react, his body had already rushed out. Hey, Mo Lingtian, where are you going? Where's this guy going? I don't know. All the voices disappeared behind him. Mo Ling Tian went downstairs and got into the car as fast as he could. Sitting in the driver's seat, Mo Ling Tian glanced at the message from the corner of his eyes again. Just as he was about to start the engine, his expression froze, and he suddenly stopped all his movements. Ningxi's status was posted an hour ago. This meant she might have left long ago. Even if she hadn't left, it would take at least 2 hours to get to the airport during the morning rush hour. No matter what, he couldn't make it in time. For a moment, Mo Ling Tian felt as if he had suddenly fallen from a high cliff. The feeling of weightlessness and dizziness engulfed him in an instant. He didn't know how much time had passed, but he was still leaning against the steering wheel with his phone in his hand. The place where his heart beat seemed to have been hollowed out, and the cold wind whistled through it. It seemed that he didn't realize until this moment that the girl who always stayed in the same place no matter when he turned around had really left his life after leaving the airport. Ning, she was still thinking about Ning Tianxin. Sweetheart, let me ask you, what kind of person is Qin Mufeng? Is he reliable? He has a good personality. His private life is simple. His family environment and parents are tolerant and open-minded. Lu Tingxiao's simple words contained all the things that Ningxi cared about. Ningxi's expression softened a little. I hope this guy can work hard. I don't know how good he is at flirting with girls, but he is a psychology major. If he can't do it, let him ask me. I'll teach him, as long as it's not Mo Cha-Cha. As long as he treats my sister Tianxin sincerely, I'll help him unconditionally. Lu Tingxiao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She was even more anxious than Qin Mufeng. This kind of thing can't be rushed. Your sister needs to think it through herself. I know. Ning, she sighed. She couldn't be blamed for being so anxious. It was because she knew Ning Tianxin's personality too well. With her personality, the last thing she wanted was to bring trouble to others. The better the person treated her, the more she would do that. She was afraid that she would really choose to be alone for the rest of her life. It wasn't easy for her to come out and meet up with little Bun. Ning, she tried her best to raise her spirits. Baby, where do you want to go to play today? Mom, can we go to the amusement park? Of course. In this aspect, little Bun was exactly like an ordinary child. Whenever she had time, she would let her take her to various places where other children played. She even took her to KFC once. The reason was because she saw that other children liked to go there. Little Bun gradually blended into the crowd and became like an ordinary child. Ning, she was naturally the happiest. The family of 3 played for a whole day and then happily returned home with great satisfaction. Mommy, can we go up to the roof and look at the stars? After reaching home, little Bun suddenly raised his little head, his eyes abnormally bright as he requested, Mommy, can we go to the roof and look at the stars? Chapter 1668. Ning, she chuckled and rubbed the little guy's head. Okay. Then she took the little Bun to the roof. Lu Tingxiao followed behind him and looked at his son thoughtfully. When they reached the roof, Ning, she looked up at the sky and said regretfully, It's a pity that we can't see so many stars in the capital. I'll take you to the Peach Blossom Land next time. The little Bun looked at his mother with satisfaction. Mom, it's okay. We can see something else. Ning, she blinked in confusion. Something else? What? The little Bun pursed his lips and pointed to the sky. This, Ning, she looked in the direction of little Bun's finger and saw a flash in front of her eyes. A cluster of flames rose vertically from the horizon and then exploded in the air with a bang. Then, dazzling fireworks exploded and turned into a few words at the same time. Lu Jingli, who was tasting wine on a balcony next door, and Jiang Mai, who was playing games in the villa behind, heard a sudden bang. Then they saw the dazzling fireworks in the sky, which formed 3 words, I love you. Jiang Mai's face darkened as he looked at the 3 words. His hand trembled and the game character on the screen died tragically. Fuck! Lu Jingli crawled up from the ground, leaned on the railing, and looked up at the sky. Fuck! Can't you do it? You're an old couple, and you're still showing off your love. Can't you let me rest for a few days? My heart is full of holes. Just as Lu Jingli was spouting off nonstop, there was another explosion followed by two big fireworks in the sky, Mom. I love you, Mom. Lu Jingli suddenly froze in place, dumbfounded. He thought it was his brother who was playing romantic, but it turned out to be Xiao Bao. My little bun, how old was he? This damn child was simply too amazing. So what if he looked good? Jiao Mai looked at the words, I love your mom, and I love you, Mom, and 10 miles of spring breeze is not as good as Mom outside the window. So he was only a little bun away from his wife? This godlike assist was enough to make him kneel. Compared to Lu Jingli and Jiang Mai, the one with the most complicated feelings was a certain great demon king. In the morning, he had already discovered that the little fellow was secretly preparing something, but he didn't expect it to be this, son, do you know you stole your father's job? However, the little fellow did remind him that as time went by, the two of them became more and more compatible and tacit, so much so that the way they interacted with each other became more and more like an old couple. In addition, he really wasn't good at this aspect, so it did lack a bit of passion and romance. Although his son did not inherit these skills from him, he did inherit a lot of romantic genes from Ningxi. Wow. These are... Ningxi hadn't recovered yet, and her face was full of surprise. Even if her flirting skills were top-notch and she was familiar with all kinds of tricks, Ningxi was still as excited as a young girl. Xiao Bao, did you prepare this for Mommy? Xiao Bao nodded shyly, with a hint of nervousness and anticipation in his eyes. Mom, the books say that girls need romance. Mom, do you like it? Ningxi's response was to hug little Bun and kiss him fiercely. I love it. Chapter 1669. Ding, ding. Ningxi received 2 messages on her phone. Dirty Demon King. Fuck, I'm moving. See you. Koi Prince, woof. Uff. Ningxi burst out laughing. After watching the fireworks, Ningxi reluctantly sent Xiao Bao back to the old mansion with Lu Tingxiao. They returned to the palace. Lu Tingxiao took out a square black velvet gift box from his pocket and handed it to her. Ningxi blinked. What is it? A gift, Lu Tingxiao replied. Ningxi took it and asked suspiciously, It's not a holiday. Why are you giving me a gift? Do I need a reason? Lu Tingxiao raised an eyebrow. He looked like an overbearing CEO. Ningxi chuckled and opened the box. The next second, she was almost blinded. Oh my! Lu Tingxiao had given her a diamond necklace. It seemed to be the newest model from TFN called Full Sky of Stars. It was indeed as its name suggested. It was too dazzling. Ningxi looked at the sparkling diamond necklace with an indescribable expression. What's wrong? Lu Tingxiao asked. Sweetheart, you like diamonds? She was shocked that he had the same hobby as a certain someone. Lu Tingxiao replied unhurriedly, I don't like diamonds. I just like how it looks on you. Fuck. Ningxi was instantly shot by an arrow with a small heart. Pooh. Her sweetheart was amazing. He could turn something rotten into something magical with just one sentence. Ningxi leaned over and kissed the man's cheek. Thank you. Put it on for me. Lu Tingxiao picked up the necklace and put it on her neck. Does it look good? Ningxi's accessories were mostly jade. She rarely wore diamonds because she was sick of looking at them. However, she felt that the diamond necklace was beautiful. No wonder women liked diamonds. Lu Tingxiao hugged her waist and said, Give me some time, Xiaoxi. Trust me, I'll take care of everything. The tea party will probably be held in a few days, but Xiao Bao will be able to stall for enough time for me to settle everything. Lu Tingxiao calmly comforted her. I believe you, Ningxi said with a complicated expression. However, she didn't know what Lu Tingxiao was going to do and how far he would go. Moreover, the other side was definitely not easy to deal with. If he was forced into a corner. Moreover, that person had done her a favor. If it really reached the point where her life was at stake, she might not be able to continue staying out of it. Lu Tingxiao seemed to have noticed her worry. He stroked her hair and said, The Lu family has a rule that forbids brothers from killing each other. Hearing this, Ningxi was instantly moved. She knew what Lu Tingxiao meant. He meant that if it really came to that, no matter what the other party would do, he would not kill them. not only because of the Liu family's rules, but also because of her, because he was afraid that she would be put in a difficult position. Lu Tingxiao, thank you. Hmm? Lu Tingxiao raised his eyebrows. Are you sure that's what you want to say? Ningxi chuckled, jumped up, and kissed the man's lower lip. All right, it should be, I love you. Chapter 1670. These days, Ningxi took advantage of the free time she had after finishing the filming. Every day, she would make time to carefully prepare nutritious and delicious lunches for Xiaobao to bring to school. During this period of time, Xiaobao had been working too hard. It was clearly an adult matter, but he, the child, had to deal with it. Hopefully, it would all end soon. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. The entire Liu family was mobilized, and the socialite tea party that had been prepared for a long time finally began. In order to welcome the young ladies, the entire old mansion had been renovated. It was quaint and quiet, yet exquisite and grand. There were all kinds of luxury cars parked at the entrance, and the well-dressed young ladies were competing with each other for beauty. There were all kinds of styles, dazzling the eyes of the onlookers. How could Lu Jingli not come to gossip on such a grand day? No, he came to stare. At this moment, looking at the exaggerated scene in front of him, Lu Jingli had goosebumps. Sigh. It was fortunate that his brother was in front of him. Otherwise, all of this would have fallen on his head. Jingli, what are you standing there for? Hurry up and pick up Xiao Bao from school. Scum. Also, don't stay out of this. Today, you should also look around and see if there are any girls that you like. Mom, what did you say? The wind is too strong. I can't hear. Lu Jingli exaggeratedly stretched out his voice and disappeared like a wisp of smoke. Behind him, Yin Rui helplessly glared at her son. Forget it. She had to deal with things one at a time. Right now, the most important thing was to settle the matter with Ting Xiao. Annie Lu, why don't I see Xiao Bao? A clever girl had already come up to her. Xiao Bao is still at school. Jingli has already gone to pick him up. Everyone wait a moment. Let's go to the courtyard to drink some tea. Is that so? It's okay. Studying is more important. Soon, Xiao Bao was picked up by Lu Jingli. Although it wasn't the first time the socialites had seen Xiao Bao, when they saw that the little fellow looked exactly the same as Lu Tingxiao, they were still stunned by his cuteness. Even if they knew that Lu Tingxiao had a son with an unlucky mother, and that he would be his stepmother after marrying over, they couldn't help but like such a cute Shota. The little prince is so cute. If I could have such a cute and adorable son, I would smile even in my dreams. I heard that the little prince is actually quite easy to get along with. When Lu Jingli saw that all the girls were deceived by Xiao Bao's adorable appearance, the corner of his mouth twitched as he muttered, "Tisk tisk, stupid humans. You be crying later." Little Bun was very efficient. As soon as he came back, he held the thick list of candidates that he had prepared over the past few days and said to his grandparents, "Grandpa, Grandma, we can begin." You just got home. Don't you need a rest for a while? Lu Chongshan's heart ached. There's no need, Grandpa. Little Bao isn't tired. Getting down to business is more important. Little Bun had a serious expression. Lu Chongshan nodded with a gratified expression. All right, I'll listen to Xiao Bao. Let's begin. Are the rules still as we discussed before? Xiao Bao nodded. Yes, I'll set the questions. The questions vary from person to person, and I'll set them according to the situation on the spot. Those who pass can stay and move on to the next round. All right. Lu Chongshan quickly called the butler over and asked him to inform everyone that they could begin. Chapter 1671. Outside in the courtyard, the socialites who were chatting and drinking tea were all given number plates, and those whose number plate was called could enter. The butler tactfully said that everyone could hold on to these signs and play some games later, such as a lucky draw or something. However, everyone was well aware of what these signs were really for. I'm so nervous. I wonder how the Liu family is going to test me. My family tried all means to find out for me, trying to get the questions, but they didn't find anything. They only know that the questions are set by the crown prince, but they don't know what the questions are. Of course, the Crown Prince is a genius, and his thinking is different from ordinary people. The questions must be especially difficult. The tragedy is that I didn't do well in school, and I've been cramming. What's the use of cramming? The Crown Prince knows everything about music, chess, calligraphy, astronomy, and geography. Who knows what he's going to test on? The scope is too wide. The education that these socialites had received since they were young focused on cultivating their character and some flashy things. If the Crown Prince were to test them on things like physics, mathematics, and chemistry, they really couldn't do anything. These things couldn't be learned in a short period of time. Listening to the discussions around her, Xianxia snorted mockingly. Isn't it too late to make a last-minute effort at a time like this? Xianxia had always been arrogant, and everyone was a little afraid of her. Although they were dissatisfied with her mockery, they could only complain secretly. However, Xianxia was a Harvard graduate, and they had to admit that she was a talented woman. What's there to be arrogant about? Although she has a higher chance of winning compared to us, don't forget that there's still the Guan family. The Guan family has connections with Lu Chongyuan, and they're on good terms with the Lu family. I'm afraid they've already decided on her, and we're just going through the motions. That's right, but even if there's only a glimmer of hope, we still have to give it a try. After all, that was the position that all women dreamed of for a long time. Number 1, Miss Chi, please come in. The butler had already started calling out numbers, and everyone was so nervous that they fell silent. That's right, the first one was Xianxia. Because of this, everyone was even more nervous. If Xianxia performed well, they wouldn't have a chance, and they would have prepared for nothing. In the house, Xiaobao sat on the sofa, while Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui sat opposite him. Lu Jingli was afraid that Yan Rui would urge him to look for girls if he stayed, but he was really curious about how his steam bun was going to test those socialites. In the end, his curiosity won out, and he decided to stay. Moreover, he could also broadcast it live for his brother and little Cece later. After seeing Xianxia, Lu Jingli was stunned for a moment. Io, the first one, was already a powerful character. Hello, big sister. Xiaobao greeted her sweetly when he saw her. When Xianxia heard the little fellow's obedient greeting, her tense nerves immediately relaxed a lot. Hello, Xiaobao. My surname is Qi. We met at the banquet before. Yes, I remember. You are Qi Shuai's sister. Yes. Xianxia was overjoyed. She had flown into a rage when her little fatty had offended Xiaobao last time. However, she didn't expect that the two of them would get to know each other after a fight, and they got along well. Big sister Qi, I'm going to start setting the question. Okay. Xianxia subconsciously straightened her back. Chapter 1672. Lu Chongshan, Yan Rui, and Lu Jingli looked at Xiaobao nervously. Then, Xiaobao blinked and asked, Sister, can you sing? Xianxia was stunned. Yes. Xiaobao said happily. That's great. Can you sing Little Jumping Frog for me? I like this song very much. I listen to it every night, or I won't be able to fall asleep. Xianxia was dumbfounded. Little Jumping Frog? What was that? No. The point was, wasn't Little Crown Prince a genius? Why did he ask her to sing a nursery rhyme for him? But if she really wanted to point out what was wrong, she couldn't say a single word. She was just a child who had just entered kindergarten. She wanted to listen to nursery rhymes to sleep at night and hoped that her mother could also sing to her in the future. This was very normal. Lu Chongshan and Yan Rui were also very surprised that Xiaobao would ask such a question. But after thinking about it, they felt sorry for him. No matter how sensible he was still a child. Xiaobao's question was right. Sister Qi doesn't know how to sing? Xiaobao looked disappointed. Xianxia looked embarrassed. Sorry, I really don't know this song, Xiaobao asked expectantly. Then do you know other nursery rhymes, Sister Qi? The little guy seemed to like her and even gave her a second chance. Xianxia looked even worse. Well, I don't know. I'm not good at this kind of song. She had received an elite education since she was a child and didn't know anything about nursery rhymes. Even if she had heard one or two lines, It would be worse if she sang it with difficulty. She didn't expect little Crown Prince to ask such a question. She wasn't prepared at all. Thus, Qi Yingying, the talented girl from Harvard, was defeated by a song called Little Jumping Frog. Lu Jingli recalled the first time he heard Ningxi sing Little Jumping Frog to Xiao Bao and felt very emotional. At first, he was amazed that his little bun liked such a childish nursery rhyme. Later, he was amazed that little Cici could sing nursery rhymes. As Lu Jingli thought about it, he added his brother and little Cici into a group and then sent a message in the group. First, Qi Yingying has failed. Xiao Bao's topic was, sing the song Little Jumping Frog, are you guys fierce or not? Very quickly, there was a reply in the group. Lu Tingxiao, Ningxi, you're the fierce one. My adorable baby is so cute. The two elders didn't have any objections to Qi Yingying's elimination. Instead, they started to coax little Bon. Xiao Bao, don't be sad. There are still many older sisters behind you. Xiao Bao will like them. Right. Xiao Bao, let's continue. At this moment, when the young ladies outside saw Qi Yingying walking out with an ugly expression on her face, their hearts sank. Why does Qi Yingying look so pale? Eliminated? His face is as dark as that, that's for sure. It's over. Even Qi Yingying has been eliminated. Just how difficult are the questions? Number 2, Miss Song, please come in. After the second daughter came in, Xiao Bao greeted her obediently as usual. Then he said, from now on, as long as Big Sister can make me speak within 10 minutes, Big Sister can pass. Chapter 1673. The Song family's eldest daughter, Song Yuyin, didn't know how to react. Make the little crown prince speak in 10 minutes? It's just making him speak. Even if it's just one word, isn't that too easy? Sister, let's begin. Little Bun politely reminded her. Then, he maintained his posture and quietly sat on the sofa. Just as Song Yuyin was thinking about this, the moment the little fellow on the sofa finished speaking, the entire feeling he gave off changed. Just a moment ago, he was clearly an active and cute little Shota, but now, it was as if there was an invisible barrier separating him from the outside world. It was as if he was in a completely different world. Seeing this, Song Yin's heart skipped a beat. She had originally prepared all sorts of things to tease the little fellow, but now, all of them were swallowed up by the child's pitch-black and cold eyes. Lu Jingli narrowed his eyes and sighed to himself. Little Bun really put a lot of thought into this. Cold sweat almost dripped down Song Yin's forehead. After hesitating for a long time, she finally asked Xiao Bao, Sister's family runs a chocolate factory. We have a lot of delicious chocolates. Can I take you to play next time? The little fellow's reaction was as if he hadn't heard her at all. To be more precise, the little fellow didn't intentionally avoid her. His eyes were actually looking at her, but it was clear that the person in front of him didn't enter his eyes at all. It was as if she wasn't the same as him, and he couldn't understand her language. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui, who had been solemn ever since they heard Xiao Bao's question, now had even more serious expressions on their faces. Xiao Bao's current appearance was like a nightmare to them. As time passed, Song Yuyin probably wasn't good at interacting with children to begin with. In front of Xiao Bao, she was even more nervous. Her clumsy conversational skills made the atmosphere more and more awkward. Time's up, Lu Jingli reminded her. 10 minutes finally passed. Song Yuyin's first reaction wasn't disappointment or sadness. Instead, she let out a long sigh of relief. It was finally over. She finally understood why Qi Yingying's expression was so ugly when she walked out. Big sister, do you need some more time? Xiao Bao immediately turned into a refined and courteous little Shota and spoke in a very easygoing manner. Previously, all the socialites, including Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan, thought that Xiao Bao would make things difficult for them. But in reality, the little fellow was unexpectedly gentle. Without waiting for Song Yin to speak, the two elders hurriedly spoke one after another about Xiao Bao's generosity. No, Xiao Bao. The rules have already been set. If you change them, it won't count. Yin Rui was anxious. All right, that's it. Lu Chongshan quickly settled down. They really didn't want to continue looking at Xiao Bao's previous appearance. In fact, Xiao Bao's previous appearance made the two of them feel uneasy. It was as if Xiao Bao's normal and cheerful appearance was just an illusion, and if they were not careful, he would become like that again. That was something they absolutely did not want to see. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui couldn't bear to continue after trying two girls. However, Xiao Bao had already efficiently called in the third person. The third girl style was different from the first two. The first two were socialites, but this one had short hair and was dressed in a neutral outfit. She looked clean, neat, and valiant, which made people's eyes light up. Chapter 1674. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui subconsciously straightened their backs when they saw the girl who walked in. This girl was a collateral relative. Compared to the other girls, she was more lively, and it was said that she was quite skilled. Perhaps an extroverted girl like her could compliment Lil Bao. I'm Liang Yu, 23 years old this year. I like to work out, and I've practiced judo, taekwondo. The girl introduced herself simply. Hello, Sister Liang. Please wait a moment. Lil Bao greeted the girl, then turned to look at Lu Jingli, second uncle. I need your help with this question. Okay, no problem. How do I help? Lu Jingli replied straightforwardly. Lil Bao waved his hand, and Lu Jingli immediately strolled over happily, squatting down in front of Lil Bao according to his request. Then, Lil Bao turned to look at the girl. Sister, my question is very simple. As Lil Bao spoke, he did a clean flying kick, which landed on Lu Jingli's temple. However, it was just a feint, and the kick did not really land. My question is, how should this move be countered? Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui looked at their precious grandson's handsome appearance, and their hearts were filled with pride. Liang Yu did not expect Lil Bao to ask such a question, but she had just said that she was good at these things, so it was not a problem for him to ask her what she was good at. Instead, it was very reasonable. Liang Yu deliberated over her words. This move, if there's enough strength, there's basically no way to counter it. At the temple, one kick will knock a person unconscious, Liang Yu muttered, but I can try. Lil Bao nodded. Okay, I'll let my second uncle spar with you, okay? Of course, thank you. Following that, Lu Jingli practiced with a girl more than 10 times, and the result was failure every single time. In the end, Liang Yu could only be eliminated. Jingli, isn't it a little unfair for a man like you to test a little girl? Seeing that 3 people were eliminated at once, and all of them were outstanding, Yin Rui was a little anxious. Lu Jingli immediately said helplessly, Mom, even if you don't know this, you should be able to tell that I didn't even use 10% of my strength just now, afraid that I would hurt a delicate girl like her. If she really has a skill, I'd be convinced. If she can't be cultured, at least she can use martial arts, right? But what she did was completely for show. If you don't have the ability, then don't set up a persona of good martial arts. Now that I've been exposed, is it still my fault? Lu Chongshan comforted himself. Forget it. Let's move on to the next one. It's better for girls to be gentle and virtuous. After a short break, the 4th girl walked in. This time, the girl completely met Lu Chongshan's requirements. She was gentle, virtuous, and good at cooking. My question is, I want to eat the candied haws made by my sister. Is that okay? Xiao Bao said. Hearing Xiao Bao's question, the girl was stunned for a moment. Her culinary skills were not an exaggeration. She had indeed specially practiced cooking, and both Chinese and Western dishes were no problem for her. But could candied hawthorn be considered a dish? The girl looked like she was in a difficult position. It was obvious that she would not do it. At this moment, Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui were completely on Xiao Bao's side. They didn't think that there was anything wrong with Xiao Bao's questions. Instead, they revealed disappointed expressions. Chapter 1675. Didn't they say she was a good cook? Why couldn't she make candied haws? They remembered that Ning she had made candied haws for Xiao Bao, and he had even sent some to the old mansion. Those candied haws were made into all kinds of beautiful and delicious, much better than those sold outside. When the fourth one was about to be eliminated, Xiaobao's expression suddenly changed. The little boy covered his stomach with his hand and looked in pain. Yin Rui noticed that something was wrong with Xiaobao and hurried over. Xiaobao, what's wrong? I'm fine. How can you be fine? Your face is so pale. Yin Rui was anxious. It's okay, Grandma. It's just a stomachache. Xiaobao comforted her, but soon, cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Why does he suddenly have a stomachache? Xingwu, get the car ready. Get the car ready to go to the hospital. The butler hesitated. What about the ladies outside? Let them disperse first. Seeing Xiaobao so uncomfortable that he was vomiting and convulsing, the two elders panicked and couldn't care less about anything else. Lu Jingli frowned. He quickly picked up Xiaobao and dashed out of the door like an arrow at the capital hospital. Xiaobao was sent to the emergency room. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui were anxious outside, and Lu Jingli hurried to inform his brother and Ningxi. Dad, Mom, don't be so nervous. Xiaobao's stomach is probably just uncomfortable. Lu Jingli was comforting them when the doctor finally came out. The two elders hurried over and asked, Doctor, how is the child? Don't worry, he's fine now, the doctor answered. Hearing this, Yin Rui finally calmed down. What the hell is going on? Why is he like this? Just as she was asking, they heard hurried footsteps behind them. Lu Tingxiao and Ning Shi had arrived. Where's Xiaobao? How is he? Ning Shi only had eyes for the little boy in the hospital bed. She ran over and grabbed Xiaobao's hand. The little boy's face was pale, and his lips were cracked from dehydration. Ning Shi felt as if her heart was being pricked by needles. What happened? Lu Tingxiao asked. The doctor handed over a medical report. We've tested the child's vomit. There's a certain amount of toxins in the food, which can cause symptoms such as vomiting and diarrhea. Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui's expressions changed. Lu Jingli was a little surprised, but Lu Tingxiao's face was expressionless. What? Food poisoning? How is that possible? Xiaobao's diet has been, Yin Rui said with a frown. Xiaobao has been eating dinner at home these days. That girl prepared breakfast and lunch. Xiaobao didn't eat anything after he was picked up by Jingli this afternoon. He didn't even take a sip of water before he started. This meant that Xiaobao only ate Ning Shi's cooking today. Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan both turned to look at Ning Shi. Ning Shi's entire body and mind were focused on Little Bon. When she heard this, her attention was slightly diverted. What? Xiaobao had food poisoning? And from what Yin Rui said, Xiaobao had only eaten her cooking today. Lu Chongshan's breathing was slightly ragged and his expression was extremely ugly. Tingxiao, it's up to you how to deal with this. Lu Tingxiao said expressionlessly. Deal with what? Chapter 1676. Lu Chongshan was exasperated. You bastard! Xiaobao is your son. How can you abandon your son for a woman? This woman did this to Xiaobao just to stop you from marrying someone else. Are you still going to cover up for her? On such an occasion, Xiaobao's accident had caused the tea party to be interrupted. Coupled with his inherent prejudice, Lu Chongshan naturally thought of Ning Shi as the biggest beneficiary at the first moment. Yin Rui also thought of this. She looked at Ning Shi coldly and stood next to Xiaobao vigilantly. Tingxiao, you have gone too far this time. Ning Shi frowned and was about to speak when Lu Tingxiao gave her a reassuring look and looked at them calmly. Reason? Reason? Do I need a reason? Everyone knows what Sima Zhao is up to. According to you, Xiaoxi did this to stop the tea party, right? Lu Tingxiao asked. Lu Chongshan snorted. Isn't that the reason? Lu Tingxiao said, that's not true. Lu Chongshan took a deep breath. Tell me, why is it not true? Lu Tingxiao said, the tea party is a way for us to stall for time. Why did she stop it? Lu Chongshan, Yin Rui, that the two of them were almost choked to death by Lu Tingxiao's calm and confident words. Lu Jingli's mouth twitched, and he tried to smooth things over. Dad, Mom, can you calm down? We haven't found out the truth yet. Isn't it inappropriate to convict him now? Maybe Xiaobao ate something else in school? Xiaobao never eats anything outside, Yen Rui said firmly. Lu Jingli could only say, fine, fine, fine. Even if Xiaobao only ate what my sister-in-law prepared, how can you be sure that someone didn't do anything to him? According to what you said, my sister-in-law did this to stop the blind date. So, can I also say that someone deliberately used this incident to frame my sister-in-law? Both of you have been bewitched by this woman. Lu Chongshan roared and was about to continue when he heard a weak voice. Mom is here. Ningxi immediately held Xiaobao's hand. Xiaobao, you're awake. Don't get up. Lie down properly. Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui had no time to be dissatisfied with Ning, she calling herself Mom. They hurriedly ran to the bedside. Seeing the little fellow's weak appearance, they felt distressed. When Xiaobao saw his mother by his side, he revealed an incomparably relieved smile and rubbed his soft face against his mother's hand. Then, Xiaobao looked at his grandpa and grandma and said apologetically, Grandpa, Grandma, I'm so sorry, Xiaobao lied to you. Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui looked at each other before looking at their grandson. Darling, what are you talking about? Did he lie to us? Little Treasure nodded and enunciated each word with a serious expression. I lied to you when I said I would seriously consider those big sisters. My real goal was to stall for time. I only have my mother in my heart. No matter how smart, outstanding, or beautiful she is, she's not my mother. I only want my mother. Besides, my mother is the best. Xiaobao. Ningxi was so touched that she didn't know what to say. Chapter 1677. Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui were speechless as they listened to their son's innocent words. Lu Jingli was almost moved to tears. He mumbled, Dad, Mom, it's not that I want to criticize you, but sometimes you too are too stubborn. Especially Dad. Why do you always look at people with colored glasses? Although it's understandable that you're afraid of ropes for 10 years after being bitten by a snake, you can't blame everyone, can you? Shut up, you little brat. What do you know? Lu Chongshan reprimanded his youngest son and looked at Lu Tingxiao. Tingxiao, come out with me for a second. Lu Jingli immediately gave his brother a look that said, Don't worry, I'm here. Lu Tingxiao touched Xiaobao's forehead and said to Ningxi, I'm leaving for a while. Okay. In the deserted corridor, Lu Chongshan's face darkened. Tingxiao, are you the same as Jingli? Do you think that I'm stubborn and unreasonable? Lu Tingxiao replied, Yes. Lu Chongshan was speechless. Lu Chongshan was so angry that he almost couldn't breathe. Father, you're worried, prejudiced, and dissatisfied with Ningxi because you're worried that I might cause the destruction of the entire Lu family if I make a mistake during this critical period, Lu Tingxiao said. In fact, Lu Chongshan and Yen Rui's attitude toward Ningxi had softened a lot. But because of this incident, their attitude suddenly became tense again. Therefore, resolving this matter was the root of the problem. Lu Chongshan's expression softened. At least you're still rational. I'll resolve everything in 7 days, Lu Tingxiao said. 7 days. Lu Chongshan was so angry that he almost laughed. Even though his son had always been his pride, it was too arrogant to settle such a powerful figure in 7 days. Let's not talk about whether you can keep your promise. Even if everything is resolved, what are you going to say about what happened today? How are you going to prove that she wasn't the one who poisoned Xiaobao? I just asked Xing Wu to investigate. There are surveillance cameras at home and at school. During this period of time, Xiaobao's meals were not touched by any suspicious person. The only one who could have done something was her. I don't need to say anything about the influence environment has on a person. You also understand. Let's not talk about what kind of personality she would have if she grew up in that kind of barren land. Back then, the Ning family would rather have an adopted daughter than acknowledge her. They even sent her to a faraway country. Don't you have any doubts? Other than the fact that she couldn't appear in public, was there an even worse truth behind it? In this circle, there are countless cases like this. How can I not worry about Xiaobao's mother, the future mistress of the Lu family, being sent abroad just to cover up their shame. How can I not worry about Xiaobao's mother, the future mistress of the Lu family? Just based on the negligible blood relationship between her and the Zhuang family? Are you sure of her character and that she won't harm Xiaobao? This was what Lu Chongshan cared about the most. What happened today had obviously provoked his fragile nerves again, causing his long-suppressed dissatisfaction and worry to burst out. Lu Tingxiao said word by word, "First, I will fulfill my promise. Second, I will tell you the whole truth when the time comes. Third, as for father's concerns about Xiaoxi's character, time will reveal a person's true nature. You have always refused to understand her. How can you know what she really is based on your so-called speculation?" Lu Chongshan frowned and said nothing. After a long while, he said, "Okay, you said I'm biased. Then I will give her a chance." Chapter 1678. In the ward. Seeing Xiao Bao relying on Ning, she so much, Yin Rui sighed softly. "Xiao Bao, do you feel uncomfortable anywhere?" Xiao Bao clung to Ning Shi's arms and shook his head. As long as his mother was with him, he would be fine. Ning Shi patted Xiao Bao's back and coaxed him to sleep. Then she looked at Yin Rui and said, "Mrs. Liu, I'll give you an explanation about Xiao Bao's poisoning." When Yin Rui heard this, she did not know what to say. She was also a mother. She could more or less tell if a woman was sincere to her child. However, there was no knowing what was in a man's heart. This concerned Xiao Bao's safety, so she really did not dare to be careless. "Mom, what's wrong, baby? Sing." "Okay, Mom will sing for you. What do you want to hear?" "Little Frog." "Okay." When Lu Tingxiao came in, he saw the girl holding Xiao Bao and humming softly. Yin Rui looked at the two of them with a complicated expression. "Cici, should be quiet. Xiao Bao is asleep." Ning Shi carefully put Xiao Bao back on the bed and stood up. Out of the ward, Ning Shi's face suddenly turned cold. Given how much the Lu family valued Xiao Bao, they must have investigated it immediately. If the problem was not with the Lu family or the school, it might have happened when she was with him. Lu Tingxiao took the girl in his arms, and a dark gleam flashed across his gentle eyes. "Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. Have a good rest and focus on your work. I'll take care of everything." Ning, she seemed to be thinking of something. She looked a little absent-minded and nodded sullenly. "Okay." In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Too many things had happened in just 3 days. After Song Lin, 3 more major shareholders of Lu's group had changed sides. Yunshin's shares had reached a terrible figure of 28%, and he had openly entered the board of directors of Lu Enterprises. He had won over a group of senior executives and shareholders who were dissatisfied with Lu Tingxiao's harsh rule and had been dissatisfied with him. It had only been a few months since the other party had returned to the country, and he had madly purchased Lu Enterprises shares with a huge amount of wealth. It was like a sharp knife piercing into the heart of Lu Enterprises Group, causing the entire Lu Enterprises and even the entire capital to be in a state of panic. When Lu Chongshan learned that even Qi Kaicheng, who had fought with him at the beginning, had betrayed Lu Enterprises and sold his shares to Yunshin after showing his loyalty to him, he was so angry that he got sick on the spot. Seeing that the situation was getting more and more serious, Yin Rui's face was full of worry. Why would old Qi suddenly sell his shares behind our backs? Was it because of Ying being eliminated at the tea party? But because of Xiao Bao's accident, we had already canceled the tea party. Lu Chongshan was breathing heavily and his fingers were trembling as he said, "Rui, go to the Guan family immediately. Remember to visit them more often. Some things that should be put on the agenda should be put on the agenda. Go and tell Guan Rui that it's my idea." Although there were many candidates for the socialite position, there were only a few suitable ones. The Guan family was very powerful both at home and abroad, and Guan Ziao knew them best. She and Ting Xiao had known each other since they were young and had a certain emotional foundation. In addition, Lu Chongyuan had been playing matchmaker, so Lu Chongshan was most inclined to the Guan family. Chapter 1679. Previously, at Mo Jinzhang's birthday banquet, the Guan family had secretly attacked Ning Shi, which had caused a rift between him and the Guan family. But in the end, it didn't affect him too much. After all, it didn't affect his interests. Moreover, he was already very dissatisfied with Ning Shi. Under such circumstances, his interests naturally drove him to make the most appropriate decision. He had already made a mistake once. He couldn't watch the Lu family be destroyed in his hands. Chongshan, should we wait a little longer? Didn't Ting Xiao say that he already has a solution? Yan Rui thought for a moment and said hesitantly, Solution? It's already been 3 days, and all I can see is Lu Corporation on the brink of destruction. I can't bet the Lu Enterprises on his words. If it was in the past, I could still believe him, but now he's head over heels in love with that woman. Lu Chongshan said with a trembling voice. All right, I know. I'll go, don't get agitated. How many times has the doctor told you not to get angry? Yan Rui said helplessly. And the most important thing is, don't let that woman be alone with Xiao Bao. I know what I'm doing, don't worry. At the same time, in a villa in the suburbs of the capital, Xiao, he was alone in a dark room. The table in the middle of the room was lit with incense and candles, and there was a picture of a woman. The man stared at the picture on the table with a burning gaze, his expression dark. Lana, don't worry. I'll be able to avenge you soon. I'll make all of them pay the price. Dong, dong, dong. Someone knocked on the door. Xiao, he immediately regained his cold expression. Come in. Feng Jin pushed the door open and hurriedly reported, Uncle Xiao, we've settled the matter with the Liang family. When Xiao, he heard this, his eyes flashed, and he nodded in satisfaction. Very good. Money could solve most of the problems in this world, and even if money couldn't shake things, there would definitely be a breakthrough. Because as long as one was human, there would definitely be a weakness. The Lu Corporation seemed to be an unshakable giant, but the bigger the corporation, the more problems there were hidden underneath. Once he uncovered the truth, there would be nothing left to hide. After Feng Jin reported the recent progress, he said hesitantly, but, Uncle Xiao, isn't everything too fast, too smooth? Xiao, he glanced at him and said, You overestimated Lu Corporation. We've prepared for so many years, and this is all we've got. Are you afraid? Uncle Xiao, you're right. Feng Jin Man nodded in agreement. Moreover, they had carefully considered every aspect, so it was impossible for them to make any mistakes. Lu Group, CEO's office. Lu Tingxiao was in the middle of a discussion with Lu Jingli when Cheng Feng rushed over with a grave expression. Boss, I just received news that they went to see Director Liang in private last night. I'm afraid Director Liang is also... Lu Tingxiao had 30% of the shares, and Yunshin already had 28%. Once he obtained Director Liang's shares, his shares would surpass Lu Tingxiao's. Now, the people's hearts were already unstable. If they continued to buy Lu Enterprises shares like crazy, the consequences would be unimaginable. Lu Jingli, who was standing to the side, remained silent. His expression was unusually solemn. Lu Tingxiao said in a low voice, Got it. You can go now. Yes. Cheng Feng replied and left with a worried expression. Chapter 1680. As soon as Cheng Feng left, Lu Jingli, who had a grave expression on his face, immediately smiled like a fox. Brother, we can finally close the net. Lu Tingxiao's eyes fell on the computer screen, and his slender fingers gently tapped on the cold and hard desktop. Unlike the gentleness he showed to Ning Shi, his face was cold and murderous at the moment. Lu Jingli sneaked a glance at the photos on Lu Tingxiao's computer screen and shivered. Bro, don't be so creepy. The other party has been purposely sending you these photos to force you to lose your cool. But who is my brother? Those guys are too naive to use such a small trick to mess you up. Not only was it useless, but it also made his brother's combat effectiveness and ferocity go off the charts. He had seen it once 5 years ago, and this time it was even crazier. One step after another, one pit after another, until the other party completely jumped into it. He was shocked from the beginning to the end. Moreover, little Cece is head over heels in love with you. How could she have any room for anyone else? Hearing this, Lu Tingxiao regained some of the human's expression. Lu Jingli took the opportunity to say, "Then can I make my move now? Is that okay? Is it okay?" Lu Tingxiao glanced at him. "Wait for them to sign the contract with Liangdian." "Oh, okay." Lu Jingli responded while secretly wiping the cold sweat on his forehead. Damn, that was too ruthless. He risked being overtaken by the shares to squeeze out the other party's last bit of flesh and blood. At this time, Lu Tingxiao's fingers that were lightly tapping on the table suddenly stopped, and he slightly raised his head. "Time's up." Lu Jingli looked at the time on his phone. A moment later, in a secret industry under the Lu Enterprises, on the top of a green slope, Lu Jingli held a golf club in his hand and swung it out. Then he cheered, "Oh my, I'm so lucky today. A hole-in-one." As soon as he finished speaking, he saw a tall, middle-aged man in casual clothes walking straight in their direction. Although the man was wearing casual clothes, his straight back and vigorous steps were obviously different from ordinary people. Zhuang Liaoyuan stopped in front of the two of them and asked directly, "Where are the items?" Lu Tingxiao handed over a thumb-sized chip. "It's all in here. It contains all the information on their underground arms trade." They were surrounded by a huge golf course, and there were only the three of them in sight, so they didn't have to worry about being eavesdropped. "Are you sure the source is reliable?" Zhuang Liaoyuan took the things with a serious expression. "I'm sure," Lu Tingxiao replied. Zhuang Liaoyuan hesitated for a moment, but finally said, "All right, I will help you hand it over, but what the Black Cat will do, whether it will believe this information or not, is not within the scope of my authority, and I will not interfere." Lu Tingxiao, "Thank you." In fact, the fact that Zhuang Liaoyuan was willing to help him submit, it was already a guarantee. Zhuang Liaoyuan put away the things, glanced at the man, and changed the topic. "I heard that you've been on a blind date recently. I've already told Xiaoxi about the delaying plan," Lu Tingxiao said frankly. Zhuang Liaoyuan snorted. "Don't think the Zhuang family is dead. The reason why I don't intervene in this matter is that I don't want Xiaoxi to be with you." Chapter 1681. Zhuang Liaoyuan didn't hide his real intention. Although he was not satisfied with Lu Tingxiao, Xiaoxi liked him and was loyal to him. Now he was just an acquaintance to her, so it was not convenient for him to intervene. Seeing that the Lu family had made Cece suffer so much, although he couldn't stand it, he still hoped that this matter could make Cece think it through and leave this brat, so that he could find a better man for her. As for this time, he helped this brat because it was a matter of great importance. Since he knew about it, he couldn't ignore it. How could Lu Tingxiao not know what Zhuang Liaoyuan was thinking? He said unhurriedly, "Then I may disappoint you. When Xiaoxi and I get married, I hope that Major General Zhuang will come and support us." He sounded as if he and Ningxi would definitely be together. Zhuang Liaoyuan was speechless. He was so angry that he left with a dark face. After Zhuang Liaoyuan left, Lu Jingli clicked his tongue. "Really? Why does Major General Zhuang not forget to poach a girl? You and little Cece's baby is already so big. Is it something that he can poach? Pull out the radish and bring out the mud." Well, this metaphor seems to be a bit inappropriate. Anyway, this is what I mean. The next night, in the end, Yin Rui was urged by Lu Chongshan to go to the Guan family. Xiao, your Aunt Lu is here. Come out, don't stay in a room. This girl has been staying in the room all day recently. I don't know what she is busy with," Mrs. Guan said as she led Yin Rui to the door of Guan Xiao's room. "Aunt Lu." Guan Xiao heard her mother's voice and hurriedly stood up and closed the book in her hand. However, Yin Rui had already seen the content of the book. It seemed to be a book about children's psychology. She glanced around Guan Xiao's room and found that almost all the books scattered around were about children's education. Yin Rui picked up a book casually. "Xiao, these books are..." Guan Xiao was a little embarrassed. "Aunt Lu, it's nothing. Didn't I say I was taking this course? I was just reading." "Reading? How many days have you been staying in the room? I thought you were doing something. So, this is what you were looking at? Mother Guan said angrily. Guan Xiao had a guilty look on her face. It's because I'm not good at academics and caused a misunderstanding last time. I'm really sorry. Yin Rui was stunned when she heard that. She looked a little moved. Child, it's been so long, and you still remember it. Annie said it's not your fault. You didn't understand Xiao Bao's situation before. At this point, Yin Rui grabbed Guan Xiao's hand and said, just reading books isn't enough. You need to spend more time with him. Once you spend more time with him, you'll naturally understand him. Don't you think so? Guan Xiao and Mrs. Guan looked at each other, clearly understanding what Yin Rui was implying. Yin Rui sighed. Xiao Bao is the only precious grandson in the Liu family. He hasn't had a mother by his side to take care of him since he was young, so it's inevitable that he's a little nervous. I hope Xiao can bear with him. Annie Liu, what are you talking about? I quite like Xiao Bao. That child is really very likable. Guan Xiao said sincerely. Yin Rui revealed a gratified expression. Sai, it's rare that you're on our Tingxiao side at a time like this. You also know that a lot of things have happened to the Liu family recently. But with Tingxiao's ability, he'll definitely be able to resolve it. It's just a matter of time. Chapter 1682. Of course. I trust Tingxiao, Guan Xiao said immediately. Yin Rui nodded in satisfaction. She thought for a moment and said, but I'm still feeling uneasy, so I'm going to pray for blessings at Fahua Temple with Uncle Liu and Xiaobao this weekend. I wonder if you have the time, Xiao? If you do, why don't you come along? She was trying to create an opportunity for her to spend more time with Xiaobao. At the same time, she was going to pray with the two elders and the little prince, which was a form of recognition. Guan Xiao and Mrs. Guan looked at each other and nodded. Annie Liu, I'm free. I don't have to go to the office this weekend. That's great. Yin Rui smiled and chatted with Guan Xiao for a long time. Guan Rui came back not long after Yin Rui left. Dad, you're back. Mrs. Guan walked over to take Guan Rui's jacket. I heard that Annie Liu came today. Guan Rui asked his daughter. Guan Xiao nodded. Yeah, she came at night. She just left. What did she say? Mrs. Guan poured a cup of tea for her husband, looking displeased. What else could she say? She's here to offer an olive branch. How could she not be anxious when the Liu family is in such a state? Old Guan, are you sure it's okay for us to side with Liu Tingxiao now? I heard that the illegitimate son has more shares than Liu Tingxiao. Don't be naive. The shares are not absolute. Liu Tingxiao's biggest advantage is his prestige in Liu Enterprises. Moreover, besides what we see on the surface, Liu Tingxiao has many forces under the water that we can't see. Guan Rui said. That's right, Mom. Besides, Liu Tingxiao is the legitimate eldest son. That man is just an illegitimate son, Guan Xiao said. So you're saying that Liu Tingxiao will definitely win? Mrs. Guan asked. Guan Rui glanced at her. How is that possible? That illegitimate son can achieve so much in just a few months. How can he be an ordinary person? His background is even more terrifying than Liu Tingxiao's, but his foundation is unstable. He'll definitely be a formidable opponent in the future. It's still unknown if Liu Tingxiao can beat him. Mrs. Guan panicked. Then why are you still letting Xiao marry him? What if? Hearing this, Guan Xiao also frowned. Guan Rui said unhurriedly, when did I ask Xiao to marry him? What's the rush? Let's wait and see for now. Mrs. Guan was stunned for a moment before she regained her composure. I understand. Then can Yin Rui invite Xiao to the Fahua Temple to pray this weekend? Mrs. Guan asked again. Go, why not? It's not a big deal, you can go. Guan Rui's intentions were clear. He wanted to keep the Liu family in suspense and act according to the circumstances. After all, they had never promised anything. Guan Xiao's eyes flickered, but she didn't say anything in the end and listened to her father's arrangement. The next day, which was the 5th day that Liu Tingxiao and Liu Chongshan had agreed to meet, the situation had reached its climax. Seeing that Lu Tingxiao was being forced back step by step, the originally stable members of the Grand Bachelor's Party could no longer sit still. It was obvious that the illegitimate son was a vicious and merciless person. If he didn't change his stance now, when he took over, all of them who were following Lu Tingxiao would definitely be targeted. Chapter 1683. However, Lu Tingxiao had accumulated his power for a long time. They weren't Lu Chongming, who had been exiled, and they weren't Song Lin, who was all alone. They also didn't have the guts like Qi Kaicheng and Liang Diyun to change sides at this time. The fate of those traitors 5 years ago was still fresh in their minds, and they were now in deep trouble. Alas, illegitimate children were indeed the culprits of the aristocratic families. Even the Lu family could not escape from it. Time passed in the blink of an eye. It was the 6th day. It was the weekend. Yin Rui had decided to go to the temple with her family the day before yesterday. She had wanted to ask Ting Xiao and Jingli to go with her, but they were so busy with the company situation that they had no time to do it. As the elders, they could only help. Xiao Bao had recovered these days. Lu Chongshan heard that she had been to the Guan family, and Guan Ziao had said that she would come with him this weekend, so he felt much better. The sun was shining brightly outside the window. It was a good day for going out. Yin Rui got up early in the morning and specially asked the kitchen to prepare vegetarian dishes for charity. Guan Ziao also arrived early. She was sitting on the sofa and talking to Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao did not deliberately make things difficult for her, but his attitude was obviously distant. Yin Rui walked out of the kitchen and saw Xiao Bao looking out the door. She asked suspiciously, "Xiao Bao, what are you looking at?" "Nothing." Xiao Bao looked away. After everything was ready, Yin Rui, Lu Chongshan, Guan Ziao, and Xiao Bao went out together. After going out, Xiao Bao pursed his thin lips and looked into the distance. He had not looked too good. Yin Rui and Lu Chongshan asked him questions, but he was absent-minded. When he was about to get into the car, there was a sudden squeaking sound of brakes. A white sports car drifted and stopped outside the old house. Soon, a girl quickly opened the door and got out of the car. Then she ran to Xiao Bao anxiously and held him in her arms. "Xiao Bao! Mummy!" Xiao Bao's face, which had been tense all morning, burst into a big smile when he saw Ning Shi. Ning Shi looked him up and down carefully, and a trace of suspicion flashed across her face. "Baby, where does it hurt? What do you feel uncomfortable?" Xiao Bao blinked his eyes guiltily, lowered his head, and said in a low voice, "Mom, I'm sorry. Xiao Bao lied to you." "Xiao Bao is fine. It doesn't hurt anywhere, nor is there any discomfort." That's good, that's good." Ning Shi's first reaction was to heave a sigh of relief. Then, she had the extra energy to look at the 3 people behind Xiao Bao. With just one glance, Ning Shi roughly knew why Xiao Bao had lured her here. Xiao Bao held Ning Shi's hand tightly and walked up to Lu Chongshan and Yin Rui. He looked at Lu Chongshan and said, "Grandpa, you promised. You taught me that a man should keep his word." When Lu Chongshan saw that Ning Shi actually came to disturb him at this time, he was originally angry, but after hearing Xiao Bao's words, he was immediately speechless. He did promise Ting Xiao that he would give Ning Shi a chance, but how did Xiao Bao find out? That brat! He only knew how to use Xiao Bao to deal with him. Lu Chongshan furrowed his brows. Looking at his precious grandson's determined expression, he knew that if he were to take a hard stance, Xiao Bao would definitely be hurt, and today's matter would be completely ruined. Moreover, wasting time of prey was not a good omen. You're tuning into the Eternal Immortal Ballad YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.